Homicide in Burien. KIRO Newsradio's Frank Lindsay reports.
King County prosecutors have charged Marvin Ortiz Montesinos with first-degree murder. They say last week he killed his girlfriend because she'd broken up with him and her roommate because she tried to stop him. Douglas Wagner is with the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office.
The girlfriend received 20-plus stab wounds. The roommate experienced 40-some-odd stab wounds. This was a pretty horrific murder.
His bail is set at $10 million, and he's due in court on Wednesday morning. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Clown masks, handguns, extended magazines, and a fear of kidnapping. All this happened just after midnight in Seattle Monday. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
It happened along Aurora Avenue North and North 128th Street. Two women who frequent the area flagged down an officer and reported two men wearing clown masks and carrying at least one gun approached them the night before. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
The victims felt that those two suspects were trying to abduct them.
Police spotted the suspect vehicle. Inside the car, they say they found the masks, guns, and extended magazines. A 19-year-old man and a 17-year-old boy were arrested for investigation of felony harassment. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A man accused of targeting Seattle area celebrities in a string of home burglaries pleads not guilty. Prosecutors say 29-year-old Patrick Manasseh broke into homes of stars like Ichiro Suzuki, Macklemore, and Richard Sherman, sometimes pepper spraying people inside. Surveillance footage and cell phone data help link Manasseh to the crimes. The stolen items, including championship rings, were later recovered at a jewelry store. Masonette is now being held on over $2 million bail. A railroad crossing in Sumner is shut down after an Amtrak train slammed into a man's SUV Monday morning. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss has more.
The SUV was split in two, one half ending up about a block down the tracks.
It's like something out of a movie that you don't want to see in person.
Employees from the auto dealership across the street rushed in to help. The driver, a man in his 20s, was the only one in the vehicle.
We didn't think he was alive, but then he kind of breathed a little bit, and so that changed everything.
Witnesses say, thankfully, an off-duty paramedic was right there.
The driver is a man in his 20s. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Over in Everett, a home turns into an inferno on Sunday, killing one person and sending another to a hospital. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke with neighbors who rushed into the burning home trying to save people.
Jose Alfredo Gonzalez Guzman says one woman who got out told him and his brother two people were still inside, one on the second floor and the other down in the basement. He says once they were able to navigate downstairs, the door where a man in his 40s was trapped behind wouldn't budge.
So we broke the door, but there was like a couch. We weren't able to open the door.
South County Fire says they found a man in his 80s on the second floor alive, but he had life-threatening injuries. So paramedics rushed him to Harborview Medical Center, where he continues to fight for his life.
For your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic right now, Everett to Seattle about 28 minutes, Linwood to Seattle 15, Marysville to Seattle about 25 right now. And for your forecast, clear skies this morning. It's going to be hot today with highs in the mid-80s. Right now, it's about 54 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, crime and punishment, our weekly check-in with Casey McNerthy at the King County Prosecutor's Office. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Now that's how you do it.
He's going left side. He's got some blocking. He turns upfield. He's down inside the 5. Touchdown! Seahawks!
We're all in a good mood this morning because of all the great sports action yesterday.
An impressive road victory in Pittsburgh earns the Hawks their first win on the season.
I mean, taking care of business. What you say?
Yesterday's game gave me more hope in what we can do as a team. I love this.
The 12s hear the Hawks right here on KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Has it been hot in your house this summer? Maybe worried about the cold coming in this fall and into the winter? Might be because your insulation's just not up to snuff. That was my problem, Mike Salk here, and that's why I called Crawl Pros. They came out, they did a corner-to-corner inspection of my crawl space and attic, and they fixed that problem once and for all. If your home has any damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, you're bleeding money every month to heat and cool your home, but you don't have to. And even better, if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%, but you got to act now. Many of these rebates are ending at the end of this year, including the federal incentives. Let Crawl Pros come out and properly insulate your home before the cooler fall weather comes in. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
It is Crime and Punishment with Casey McNerthney from the King County Prosecutor's Office. Casey, good morning. Thanks for being here.
It's good to see you, man.
So in court this morning, there's an arraignment for a defendant accused of selling fentanyl and meth at 12th Avenue South and South Jackson Street. Tell us more.
Yeah, there's two different defendants. 12th and Jackson is the fentanyl case, and that area needs some help. And so it's been a focus for Seattle police. And when those cases come to King County prosecutors, we charge those consistently. The hard part is there's so much activity over there that those cases don't stand out a lot, but the work is still happening. And there was another case in Belltown that was recently referred to us. He's also in court this morning, that second defendant. First and Blanchard was the area where this person was picked up. And there's a detail in the court documents for the case that he's charged in this morning. He was accused of selling cocaine near First and Blanchard. The detail in the court document explains how prosecutors are just one part of the picture. Here's that detail.
I have the document in front of me. The defendant does not follow the orders of this court, and this is not new information. February 7th, the defendant picked up a drug charge for conspiracy to sell fentanyl. Prosecutors requested $10,000 in bail at that time, to which the court disagreed and released the defendant on his personal recognizance. Then, March 18th, the defendant picked up another drug charge involving the intent to sell fentanyl. The state again requested bail be set at $10,000, to which the court again disagreed but set it at $5,000. And we go on. Less than 3 months later, while he was on warrant status for failing to appear to his court appearance for these drug dealing matters, the defendant was booked into custody again for a third drug charge, this time for delivering cocaine. Based on the defendant's deliberate disregard for court orders, the state requested bail set at $75,000. The court set bail at $30,000, and the defendant remained in custody.
That's a lot, but that shows how prosecutors are just one part of the legal system. And, what prosecutors can promise from King County is that if you have somebody who's accused of fentanyl or another serious drug like that, that prosecutors will bring that case to court when there's evidence to do so, and at least ask for people to be held when, they're moving really deadly substances like that.
It's just so frustrating. Why do they keep getting out and keep doing it again?
That's a great question. It really is up to, well, there's two things. It's really up to how the case resolves and also what the court decides, what a judge decides. When you have a case like that, this person with his first conviction here had no conviction history. And so the range was 0 to 12 months, even for a felony crime for moving fentanyl. So he got time served, which was just under 3 months. That's not a lot of time. And it's such a juxtaposition when you see how deadly fentanyl is, and you get what's in some cases equivalent to a misdemeanor sentence, even with a felony.
On another topic this morning, it was Friday night. A 46-year-old man was arrested in a child molestation investigation in Tent City 3. What can you tell us about this?
Yeah, this was a case near the Lowe's on Rainier Avenue. That's where Tent City 3 is. There was a mother who contacted police and said, hey, my 9-year-old, I'm not sure where she went to. They responded right away. They found her by that point, and she described to police a sexual assault.
Did you say 9?
Yeah, 9 years old. Yeah.
Ugh. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a really concerning case, and so he was in court on Saturday. What King County prosecutors asked for was for him to be held on $750,000 bail. We anticipate getting the case from Seattle Police by Wednesday for a charging decision.
Are there a lot of cases like this that come out of tent cities or encampments that are actually charged?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And I think a lot of people wonder, do you actually charge those cases? And King County prosecutors do. The key is getting those cases referred to us. But, wherever a case happens, whether it's, from Medina or from a encampment or a tent city or anywhere in between, prosecutors handle the case the same way.
Before we let you go, tell me about your interesting experience trying to hail a ride.
Oh, so this is embarrassing to admit. So I was outside T-Mobile Park.
And yet you do, because it's a teachable moment,
It
right?
is. It sure is. Yeah, it's one of those things that they tell you not to do, was with some friends last week at the third of the ninth of the Mariners wins. We're outside T-Mobile Park at Hatback Bar and Grill. We all leave at the same time, and I call a Lyft, and they say it's a black Tesla, right? So it's pretty common for a rideshare vehicle. I don't check the license plate.
Come on, Casey.
The one time I don't do it, right?
You must.
You must. You really must. I get in, and when you have that creepy feeling where you're like, I got to get out of here right now.
Yeah.
So I had that feeling. I thought, I got to get out of here. Luckily, I was able to get out, but I looked. The guy didn't have license plates.
Oh, goodness. You're kidding.
On his vehicle. And it just had a really creepy vibe. And was trying to get me down the road. And the problem is, once you get down the road like that, you don't know how that ends.
Right.
At best, it ends as a guy's trying to get you for a rideshare without the fees for Uber. Depending on what happens, that could be an armed robbery. That could be a sexual assault. And I thought I should share this, with you this morning because, if somebody who's sober, who knows better, who works for the prosecutor's office, gets caught like that.
Yeah.
It's just a reminder. Always check the license plate. Always confirm with the driver before you get in, because if that can happen to anybody, and it happened so quickly.
Yep.
And I thought, man, if I had gotten down the road, that ends really poorly.
I'm glad it didn't, and I'm glad you're here with us this morning.
Yeah. Good to see
All
you.
right, thanks for the reminder. Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office. Thanks.
For your KIRO Newsradio forecast, clear skies this morning. Prepare for hot temperatures today. Highs will be close to 90. Right now, it's about 54 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, we've got some more top stories ahead. G. Scott breaks down Sunday's big Seahawks win. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service. Really? Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 10/21/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of 1 unlimited intra-line applied via 12 monthly internet bill credits. 1 discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data and service series. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Q1 to Q2 2025.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools to help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck is about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with a team that doesn't just set up your listings and let it sit. The Novak team creates a marketing strategy that's hands down proven successful. Mike sold over 1,500 homes and guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If Mike doesn't get your home under contract within 21 days, he sells it for free. That is no commission for Mike. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Academy Award-winning actor and director Robert Redford has died. His appearances in such films as Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid, The Way We Were, and The Sting made him an icon. Redford was 89 years old. Meanwhile, CBS News has confirmed a Washington Post report that the suspect in Charlie Kirk's assassination appeared to confess in an online group chat before his arrest. CBS Carter Evans reports.
A Discord spokesman and two law enforcement sources told CBS News an account appearing to belong to the suspect claimed responsibility for the shooting in a group chat around 2 hours before his arrest last Thursday, writing in part, quote, "It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all this." The messages were first reported by the Washington Post. Discord has said it hasn't found any evidence that the suspect planned Kirk's assassination on the platform.
In Western Washington, it's going to be hot today. Highs will be in the mid to upper 80s, but that heat comes with the warning. KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Nick Allard says fire danger is high, especially in the mountains and South Sound. A red flag warning is in effect, and gusty winds could make things worse.
A wind advisory for the Cascade foothills, and I started to think about this. All the trees still have leaves on it, and with gusts anywhere from 35 to 45, maybe even 50 for a few places, especially kind of mid to late morning through the afternoon, it's going to be strong.
Two brush fires in Seattle just show how fast flames can spread. Sunday's fire on Beacon Hill damaged 4 homes and sent 2 people to the hospital. Crews evacuated more than 10 people before getting it under control. Investigators say it was likely caused by sparks or a tossed cigarette. A 29-year-old man has been arrested in connection with last Monday's double homicide in Burien. King County prosecutors have charged Marvin Monotizzi with 2 counts of first-degree murder. They say he stabbed his girlfriend to death because she'd broken up with him, and then they say he also stabbed her roommate for trying to stop him. Douglas Wagner in the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says his bail has been set at $10 million.
You know, it's relatively rare that you'll see bails in the millions of dollars, let alone 10 million. And that reflects the seriousness of this case. It reflects the threat of safety to the public, as well as the potential flight risk of this defendant.
He has family in Guatemala. He's due in court tomorrow morning. And there was a little shaking near Port Townsend last night. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas has details.
The tremor very close to the coast, a 2.9 magnitude quake just about a half dozen miles from Port Townsend. No wave warnings or any other issues, just some light shaking reported.
This man made $1 million doing it, but now he faces up to 5 years in prison for selling stolen merchandise on the internet.
Prosecutors say the 53-year-old and his partner ran We Buy Gold, Silver, and Electronics in Burien, where they bought stuff stolen from local retailers, primarily over-the-counter medications and health and beauty products, then turned around and sold that stuff on eBay or Amazon.
He'll be sentenced in December. His alleged partner is set to go on trial in February. Now for your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Tacoma to Seattle, about 23 minutes right now. Puyallup to Renton, 18. Everett to Bellevue, about 25. Marysville to Seattle, about 27 right now. And for your forecast, clear skies right now, and it's going to be a swelter today. Highs will be near 90. We're topping out at 87 in the mid-Seattle area. Right now, it's about 54 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News. Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Joining us now from the G and Ursula Show. You can hear that from 9 to noon right here on KIRO News Radio. Also host of the Reset podcast, available at mynorthwest.com, is 1G Scott.
Ooh,
how about those Hawks?
The Seattle Seahawks are 1-1 on the season. They went to Pittsburgh, to hostile territory, towels spinning and waving, and came out victorious. 31-17.
Sweet.
Sam Darnold slung it. K9 rocked it. Cooper Kupp said, y'all must have forgot. And JSN is the best in the world. It was incredible. DK Metcalf was in there. DK Metcalf got locked down. He scored a little bit, but he was held to 3 catches for 20 yards, 6 targets, and 2 drop passes. DK, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say, and that Seahawks secondary will lock you know what up. Yeah. Josh Jobe had him glued to
Josh
Jobe had him glued to DK like a church deacon on a lady in a troubled marriage. That coverage was tighter than a do-rag than the night before prom. Josh Jobe had DK wrapped up like your grandma's plastic couch, sticky with no room to breathe. I'm telling you right now, it was go!
I had a feeling you were going to be a little pumped up this morning.
So much that it gets out of the camera frame.
So the Seahawks have now beat Aaron Rodgers as a Packer, a Jet, and a Steeler.
Come on now. I mean, taking care of business. What you say?
Okay,
I mean,
what was the best play? Do you have a best play, or was it all just so darn good?
It has to come down to the play that has not happened in 45 years. The Seahawks go to kick it off. You go to get your coffee. You go to use the bathroom real quick.
Happened?
You know what I'm saying? You're like, wait, hold on. The Seahawks scored? My man George Halani, shout out to George Halani, went down there. He knew to go get that ball. That hasn't happened in 45 years. That's how great that play was.
Do you think part of that is Jay Harbaugh, the special teams coach for the Seahawks, training the guys? Or that's just George Halani?
That was just George Halani.
Preseason star George Halani.
That was just George Halani. I mean, look, it was great. Look, I just want to talk about something real quick. Can we just say, you guys know what the Seahawks have been doing? Remember, I don't know for those who are new Seahawks fans, but for those that have been around a while, remember back in the day when the Seahawks did not do well with 10 o'clock games? Right? Sully, you remember that? They were struggling.
Yeah, they couldn't do anything at those East Coast games.
Check this out. They went 3-0 in 2024, right? And in their last 24 10 o'clock games, they didn't won 19 of them bad boys. 19! I'm talking about they winning. Their track record is almost like somebody's marriages. Great. Anyways.
your tone is just a tad different than it was last Monday.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Are you feeling better about the team in general?
So much better. On Friday, I told you guys, people was talking smack to me. They were saying, and I was kind of in my feelings, Manda. I was thinking like, and I didn't have, look, let me be truthful. On Sunday, I did not have the confidence. But boy, after they won that game, I was talking. Y'all hear me talking now? You hear me talking now?
Now
and
you can talk smack to them.
They come back home against the Saints on Sunday in Lumen Field. Make sure you're there, be there, or be square, or wherever you watch the game. The Seahawks are back.
Coming up, we'll have national headlines. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO Newsradio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Piri, coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Cal has hit more home runs than any catcher in the history of the game of baseball.
The Mariners are in the hunt for October, and now's the time to pack the park and bring the energy.
The look in by Brash, the pale pitch on the way, and strike 3 called. He got him looking.
We're electric. I feel like the fans can feel that, and we're just going to keep this going.
An absolute tracer from Julio. He has homered in back-to-back at-bats.
Keep bringing the energy. We really need it. Let's go.
Out to right field. Way back there. J.P. Crawford. Game winner, walk-off fashion in the 9th inning.
This team has a lot of fight. You guys have been electric. You guys are the key to this, so thank you guys.
The postseason is in our sights. Be here and be loud. Mariners baseball. Seize the moment.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
For more than 75 years, the VA Home Loan Benefit has helped millions of eligible veterans and service members achieve their piece of the American dream, a home for their families. Did you know that you could purchase a home or refinance your current home loan with your VA Home Loan Benefit? VA home loans have lower closing costs and generally enjoy lower interest rates than other borrowers. The VA home loan may save you thousands of dollars on your mortgage. For more information, visit www.va.gov or talk to a lender of your choice. Choose VA.
Since our start in 1976, the 12s have grown louder. And our dreams have soared higher.
Your Seahawks, Super Bowl 48 champion.
But we're not done. We're ready to stack more wins.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
To show the impact of 12 as one.
Nobody has left this place. It is pandemonium in the stand.
And create moments no one will ever forget. The 50th season starts now. Get your tickets at Seahawks.com.
You're invited to the birthday party of a lifetime. Warner Brothers Discovery presents Bugs Bunny at the Symphony, coming to Benaroya Hall, October 10th, 11th, and 12th, in a special new 35th anniversary edition. Enjoy classic Looney Tunes on the big screen as the Seattle Symphony plays the unforgettable music scores live. Ticket info at seattlesymphony.org.
CBS News Brief. Israel's military says troops are moving into the center of Gaza City after large explosions overnight. Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke to reporters before leaving Israel for Qatar.
Our preference, our number one choice, is that this ends through a negotiated settlement where Hamas says we're going to demilitarize, we're no longer going to pose a threat, we're going to disband, we're going to release every single hostage.
The suspect in Charlie Kirk's murder is expected to make a virtual court appearance in Utah today. CBS's Anna Schechter.
He could be facing life in prison or the death penalty. The governor of the state of Utah has indicated that he's directing his team to seek the death penalty.
President Trump says there's proof a second boat blown up by the military was carrying drugs from Venezuela to the U.S.
We know what time they were leaving, when they were leaving, what they had, and all of the other things that you'd like to have.
He says 3 people were killed. CBS News Brief.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
For your KIRO Newsradio forecast, clear skies this morning. It's going to be hot today with highs in the mid-80s. Right now, it's about 54 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger breaks down the big Federal Reserve meeting scheduled for this week. Will key interest rates be lowered? We'll find out next. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
IRG Physical and Hand Therapy doesn't just treat injuries, they elevate athletes. From weekend warriors to elite competitors, IRG Sports Institute clinics are built for performance, blending top-tier physical therapy with advanced sports science and personalized training plans. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Why? Why elevate athletes as well?
Because here at IRG, Brock, our motto is we want you to be your best self, your best physical self, your best mental self, and your best community self. At our new IRG Fremont Sports Institute, we're providing that type of care. We've got the latest equipment, the greatest techniques, the providers there that are excited to get you better, basically bigger, faster, stronger. Doesn't matter if you're a weekend warrior, a recreational athlete, an elite athlete, we will make you to be your best.
You'll work with specialists who understand the grind because they've been there. With access to cutting-edge equipment and recovery techniques, you won't just heal, you'll come back stronger. Visit irgpt.com, irgpt.com.
This is the story of Julie Guillot. She's a Leukemia and Lymphoma Society advocate and the mother of a child who battled blood cancer.
Zach was diagnosed with AML, a deadly leukemia, when he was only 5. While the treatment really attacked the cancer, unfortunately it also attacked his body. Uncontrollable fevers, terrible nosebleeds, and his skin was burned from the inside out. He died at just 9 years old, really from the treatment that was meant to save him.
The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society was founded 70 years ago by parents who also lost their child to cancer. Today, we're pioneering breakthrough treatments for kids with cancer.
We are so close to finding better treatments for kids with cancer. So it's too late to save Zach, but working together, we can save thousands of kids just like him.
Visit LLS.org and save a child's life.
Motorcycle accident cases require a thorough investigation by a team of experienced legal professionals if they have any chance of being successful. Insurance companies, juries, and even the police tend to assume the worst about motorcycle riders. Get help from an experienced team of attorneys that have successfully resolved hundreds of motorcycle accident cases over the past 30 years. Call Davis Law Group for a free legal consultation or get my free book on motorcycle accidents at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. To celebrate, Bathfitter's offering payments as low as $125 a month. Ursula Royteen here. I chose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This special offer won't last.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
Big week for the Federal Reserve. We check in with CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Jill, always great to have you on. Let's dive into what's shaping up to be a big week for the Fed.
Oh, yeah. Well, tomorrow they start their two-day meeting. It's widely expected they will cut interest rates by 0.25 percentage point. And, you know, I think it's possible that we get 0.5 percentage point, but I think the more likely scenario is 0.25 percentage point. You probably don't even realize this because you're not geeks and I am. And a year ago was when the Fed first began cutting interest rates after they had raised them to fight inflation. So it was September of 2024. and they launched a rate cut campaign. It started with a 0.5 point, then 2/4 points. So we had a full percentage point shaved off of the Fed funds rate between September and December of last year. But then the Fed went on pause. And the reason is they just didn't understand how the Trump administration's policies would filter through to the entire economy. So I think now what we know is the labor market is weakening. And while tariffs are causing inflation to rise, it doesn't seem, and I say this right now because these are sort of early days, it doesn't seem like we're going to get this massive spike in inflation. It looks more like we'll get this slow increase in the inflation rate, which will moderate and then start to come down again. So in that case, the Fed's going to be much more concerned with the fact that job growth is slackening. We're seeing the number of jobs created every month fall. We're not going off a cliff, gang. I don't want you to hear that. We're not in a recession right now, but it does look like job growth is kind of slowing down, and the Fed's going to pay attention to that, and that's why I think we get 0.25 percentage point.
This is quite a delicate thing to balance, isn't it?
I know I feel bad for the Fed. It's not a great job right now. You know, one economist said to me that this is the most uncertain and difficult to predict economy that she has seen in decades. I mean, 4 decades, essentially, because, you know, we have never come off of this crazy period called the pandemic, where there was, you know, so much loss of life, but also loss of jobs, resurgence of jobs, no inflation, then inflation. And that kind of feed through of the economy is really difficult to now suss out at this point and say, like, what's going to happen next? It is an uncertain time, but so far, the economy continues to grow. So far, the spending that's going on in, say, AI is just massive, and it's really pushing through the economy in a way that's helping stocks, but maybe not individuals yet. So I do think that we're going to be in a situation with the Fed, at least, where they're going to tell us we're cutting. We're not so sure about the future. We're going to keep monitoring the data. But of course, all this is to say that if things change quickly, so will the Fed.
Jill, the Fed's also going to release new economic projections this week. What are we watching for?
I don't know why we watch this. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not an economist, so far be it for me to judge them, but they kind of stink at making short-term projections, just like most people do. It really is hard. These are projections. They're not certainties. And so when we look at the Fed's projections, the reason why markets and investors pay attention to it is that they think they're getting a jump on what the Fed might do. But the Fed's been wrong many times in terms of their short-term projections, and they shift policy accordingly. So I'll give you an example. Let's say the projections come out and they say, hey, we think the economy's slowing down and we're going to lower rates by 0.25 percentage point for the next blank meetings. And, you know, that'll shave another 1 or 1.5 percentage points off the Fed funds rate. But if in like 3 months, 6 months, we have a re-escalation of trade and tariff talk and things get worse and the inflation rate starts to rise, they're not going to cut interest rates. So that's why I don't know why they actually do this, because I don't think it's actually useful for most people.
Jill, before I let you go, you write on your blog, Jill on Money, Chair Powell will likely face a spicy press conference after the announcement on these projections, which is funny because I've never really considered the Fed and spicy to be two words that go together.
Certainly, looking at your own pal, you wouldn't think that at all. So, you know, that he is a very steady guy. He really is. And all reports are that, you know, he's very well liked on the board, you know, among the staff, even around D.C. He's a very well liked man. I think that the spiciness comes from a lot of the drama in the background that's political drama around the Fed chair, his own job security, the job security of Lisa Cook. Steve Myron might be elected to the board for this meeting today. He might get approved by Congress. So a lot of that, to me, is complete noise. It's almost like the distraction around the policy. And I think that Powell's not going to actually answer any questions about that. I really hope the Fed maintains its independence. I'd like it to be that the president doesn't talk trash about the Fed or the Fed chair or any Fed governor. And it's not great for the institution. I'd like to believe that we have a shot here of getting this right. The Fed has not been perfect. They're not supposed to be perfect. They are human beings. And I'm hopeful that we can just navigate the next period ahead for the economy because, at some point there is going to be a surge of inflation. At some point there's going to be a recession. And we want the Fed to be able to act accordingly without the pressure politically to do so.
We'll see what happens. Jill, thank you so much. CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, clear skies right now. It's going to be hot today with highs in the low to mid 80s. Right now, it's about 54 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, more of the day's top stories on Seattle's Morning News. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your favorite Seahawks gear? Check. Face paint? Check. The Mike McDonald preview on KIRO News Radio? Check.
We want to win the game.
Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald joins the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, in the final interview before every Seahawks game. Friday mornings, the Mike McDonald preview, only on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of the guys' spirit.
This is where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
One thing you can always count on is a change in the weather. Time to protect your home now with the help from the pros at Integrity Roofing and Construction. With years of experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team delivers exceptional craftsmanship, whether it's a simple roof repair or a full renovation. Integrity offers free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Call Integrity at 206-202-ROOF or visit online at integrityrc.com. That's integrityrc.com.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Can you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. we can help.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A moo-moo is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, we've got a new administration. What have we seen as a result at the IRS?
Well, the result that I think everyone has seen is, unfortunately, reduction in staff.
And yet people think that because of those reductions, they're in a better spot.
Well, it's not necessarily the case, because the IRS is still going to work with the staff that they have. And in fact, their collection activity is going up.
But now is also the best time to get something done that could be favorable to the taxpayer who owes.
It's very interesting. I've had 2 cases now that I was able to get settled with the IRS fairly quickly and with some excellent results. I think they're just trying to get any case where there's a real live person working on it through the system quicker. They're needing to handle a lot more cases. The caseload isn't going to slow down.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. Celebrate with payments as low as $125 a month. A beautiful bath installed in one day, no mess, and a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Acting legend Robert Redford is gone. His agent says he died in his sleep at his home in the mountains outside Provo, Utah. Correspondent Steve Kathan looks back.
For decades, Robert Redford was the essence of big screen charm.
I'll jump first. No, then you jump first. No, I said. What's the matter with you? I can't swim!
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid with Paul Newman launched a string of iconic roles stretching from the 1960s into the 80s.
I'm Bob Woodward of the Washington Post.
There was All the President's Men in 1976 about Watergate. Redford was also an Oscar-winning director, the force behind the Sundance Film Festival, and involved in several environmental causes.
What made Redford a legend? Syracuse University's Robert Thompson.
Robert Redford dominated American film acting in the 1970s, from Butch Cassidy to All the President's Men, and then went on to dominate a lot of film directing in the 1980s.
Robert Redford, dead at the age of 89. The 22-year-old accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk is set to appear virtually at court in Utah this afternoon. CBS's Katrina Kaufman from Provo.
The judge will be in the courtroom here at the courthouse, but he's coming in via WebEx, we've been told. This is an opportunity for him to first hear the charges against him, and we're still waiting for those final charges.
The Salt Lake County District Attorney says a 71-year-old man in the crowd at Utah Valley University who falsely claimed he killed Kirk was a known attention seeker who tried to distract authorities from the real gunman. Luigi Mangione, 27-year-old accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, is scheduled to appear at court in New York City this hour. Former federal prosecutor Lori Levinson.
What we have here is a series of issues that will be addressed in court. They range from a motion to dismiss the case, claiming that this is not a murder as an act of terrorism, to a really important motion to exclude evidence, including a handwritten manifesto.
Mangione faces state and federal murder charges. In Gaza City, large explosions and flashes across the skyline as Israel began the main phase of its offensive to destroy Hamas. Never mind higher prices, Americans are still spending. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Retail sales were up by 0.6% in the month of August. That is twice the pace that was expected. And this despite sentiment indicators that show a souring of feelings about the economy.
The Federal Reserve begins a crucial 2-day meeting on interest rates today. Dow futures down 26. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
At 6:03, we check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
Yeah, good morning, Charlie. We're off to a pretty decent start. I am looking for a little help up in the Mill Creek area, though. We've got some reports of a potential crash up there, southbound I-5, right there at 164th. Doug bogged down there just a little bit. Overall, 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue is really not too bad. Coming the other direction, Puyallup to Renton, 40 minutes for you guys. And then Renton to Bellevue's under 20 to start the 6 o'clock hour. That's pretty decent as well. Federal Way to Seattle, no issues for you guys. 40 minutes up the drive there. 35 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. And over near Silverdale, we've been working with a crash on northbound 3 near Trigger Ave. It just cleared, so expect that backup, which is minimal, to go away pretty quickly. This report brought to you by FlySeaportAir.com. Seaport Airlines offering high-frequency shuttle service between Boeing Field and Portland. Use code FALL2025. Save 20%. Book now. FlySeaportAir.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. It's going to be hot today, mid to upper 80s across western Washington, and that heat comes with a warning.
Nick Allard from KIRO 7 TV says fire danger is high, especially in the mountains and South Sound. A red flag warning is in effect, and gusty winds could make things worse.
A wind advisory for the Cascade foothills, and I started to think about this. All the trees still have leaves on it, and with gusts anywhere from 35 to 45, maybe even 50 for a few places, especially kind of mid to late morning through the afternoon, it's going to be strong.
2 brush fires in Seattle show how fast the flames can spread. Sunday's fire on Beacon Hill damaged 4 homes and sent 2 people to the hospital. Crews evacuated more than 10 people before getting it under control. Investigators say it was likely caused by sparks or a tossed cigarette. Cooler weather arrives tomorrow, but today the risk is real.
A 29-year-old man has been arrested in connection with last Monday's double homicide in Burien. King County prosecutors have charged Marvin Ortiz Montesinos with 2 counts of first-degree murder.
They say he stabbed his girlfriend to death because she had broken up with him. They say he also stabbed her roommate for trying to stop him. Douglas Wagner in the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says bail is set at $10 million.
You know, it's relatively rare that you'll see bails in the millions of dollars, let alone 10 million. And that reflects the seriousness of this case. It reflects the threat of safety to the public, as well as the potential flight risk of this defendant.
He has family in Guatemala, and he's due in court tomorrow morning.
Linden schools want to honor conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was murdered last week during a public debate. According to a post on Reddit, the school board passed a resolution creating Charlie Kirk Day. It'd be observed the Monday before September 10th each year. They say it's a way to stand against political violence and promote respectful dialogue. The resolution also backs student debate clubs, calling them vital for teaching civil discourse and critical thinking. Board members say students should lead the observances where possible. KIRO Newsradio has reached out to the board.
The man accused of burglarizing the homes of Seattle area celebrities has pleaded not guilty to 10 felony crimes. KIRO News Radio's Aaron Granillo has the update.
Prosecutors say 29-year-old Patrick Maisonette broke into the homes of stars like Macklemore, Ichiro Suzuki, and Mariners pitcher Luis Castillo, even pepper spraying people inside. Seattle native and L.A. Dodgers pitcher Blake Snell lost 2 Rolex watches. Former Seahawk Richard Sherman had 1 stolen too. Maisonette was arrested last month and is being held on more than $2 million bail. Investigators say surveillance and cell phone data helped crack the case, with some stolen items recovered from a South Seattle jewelry store. Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling, so I just did.
It's 6:07 on Seattle's morning news. The news this morning that Robert Redford has died at the age of 89.
What an amazing life.
An amazing career, and I knew he was in his 80s, but it's still, he always just had that youthful presence on screen in so many great roles.
89 years old.
All the President's Men. Come on. I think every journalist watches
So
that.
good.
Yeah, still think about it.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. I was at a concert late into Sunday evening, and being here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed
You can't
was
do that
not
anymore.
in the cards.
No.
Yeah. But saw Modest Mouse, The Flaming Lips,
Oh,
Slater
fun.
Kinney.
Kenny.
Yeah. So some great bands. They were out at the Remington Farms Fun Festival.
And you had not been there before.
Had not been. What a great venue.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And the traffic was fine. I can see why some of the neighbors aren't too crazy about it. You are driving through a neighborhood to get in there. So, but really a great venue if you haven't had a chance to check it out.
I'm glad you had a good time. Back to work with you.
Yeah, back to the grind. Well, we have producer David Burbank in the studio. Katrina Gashard is editing today, and Nick Freisha is picking out the music for us this morning and running the board.
And this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
And coming up this hour of the show, Sully, we have a choke point, I-90?
Yep, we're going to finally get around to fixing that expansion joint that broke, I don't know, January of 2024. And that means huge problems getting eastbound over to Bellevue for about the next 2.5 weeks.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. And we'll also have the personal finance update from Brian Evans at Madrona Financial Services.
It's 6:09. There was a little shaking near Port Townsend last night, as we hear from KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
The tremor very close to the coast, a 2.9 magnitude quake just about a half dozen miles from Port Townsend. No wave warnings or any other issues, just some light shaking reported.
Well, he made $1 million doing it, and now a federal wayman faces up to 5 years in prison for selling stolen merchandise on the internet.
Prosecutors say the 53-year-old and his partner ran We Buy Gold, Silver, and Electronics in Burien, where they bought stuff stolen from local retailers, primarily over-the-counter medications and health and beauty products, then turned around and sold that stuff on eBay or Amazon.
He'll be sentenced in December. His alleged partner set to go on trial in February.
2 women who frequent the area near Aurora Avenue North and North 128th Street flagged down a Seattle police officer yesterday morning and reported being accosted by 2 armed men wearing clown masks. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
We don't know what their intentions were. The victims felt those 2 suspects were trying to abduct them.
Police pulled over the suspect's vehicle. They found the masks, guns, and extended magazines inside. A 19-year-old man and 17-year-old were arrested on suspicion of felony harassment.
Washington's top education official wants to bring artificial intelligence into classrooms. TVW reports Superintendent Chris Rakedahl is asking lawmakers for $10 million. The money would fund a statewide pilot program for AI tutoring tools, starting with math. Would also pay for teacher training. Rakedahl says AI is already part of daily life and learning. He wants the state to act boldly, he says, and not leave districts to figure it out alone.
Students at 7 Seattle high schools walked out of class yesterday over a lunch schedule change. The district is switching to 2 lunch periods at all comprehensive high schools. Students say it disrupts clubs and creates distractions during class. The walkout started at 11 in the morning with students marching to the district office in Soto. Organizers tell the Center Square they had a productive meeting with the superintendent. Schools have until October 6th to make the change.
A longtime Seattle police officer put herself in danger to stop a driver from running over a man in the street. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas with details.
This happened Friday in West Seattle on 47th Street and Southwest Othello. Lieutenant Heidi Tuttle drove her SUV into this Prius after she saw the driver intentionally trying to hit a man who was running away in the street several times. The driver ran away, but police caught up to him and arrested him nearby.
A high school football game between Lakes and Bonnie Lake was cut short Friday night. Officials called it off at halftime after tensions between the teams started to boil over. Lakes coach Dave Miller told the News Tribune he felt the refs missed key calls early on, and he says that made things worse on the field. Miller didn't share more. Bonnie Lake's coach hasn't commented. Now there's an investigation into what led to that decision.
Okay, producer David, are you going to be okay with me reading this story? Are you afraid of a jinx in any way?
I am, but
always fear the jinx.
You're the host. You're allowed.
Okay, here we go. The Mariners are in first place, and playoff odds are looking strong. Fangraphs now give Seattle a 96% chance to make the postseason.
That's what I'm talking about.
The team leads Houston by 1 game with 12 left to play. KIRO 7 TV reports their odds of winning the division, winning it, not just making the playoffs, 68%. And yes, An 11% shot at the Mariners winning the World Series.
Now you've done
11%.
Now you've done it.
Seattle starts a road trip today in Kansas City. Then they head to Houston. That'll be an important matchup. Today's game starts at 4:40 on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
I can't wait. I was so disappointed there was no game yesterday. You know, when they're playing like this.
Yeah, they are so
don't
hot.
Need a day off, do you?
Just the right time.
I was happy for a day off. Every game, I'm holding my Cheetos very close.
By the way, it's only a half game.
Half game?
Yeah,
yeah. Houston won.
Houston won yesterday.
All right.
Okay. Got to be Captain Bring Down.
Yeah, all right. Thanks,
Yeah.
Sully. Appreciate that. Let's take a look at the weather forecast. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. A hot, windy one today. 87, the forecast high for Seattle. The real concern is it's going to be very dry and very windy, especially in the South Sound and the Cascade foothills. Be very careful with outdoor fires today. Especially do not be tossing out cigarettes or anything like that. Tomorrow we cool down to the mid-70s, low 70s for Thursday. Right now in Seattle, it's clear and 54.
And it's 6:13. Time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And I'm still looking for a little help for those of you on I-5 southbound right there at the 167 corridor. The 164th exit there into Mill Creek. Looking to see why it's so slow there. Getting reports there might be something there, but either way, there is some braking from 128 down, and we're already over 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Once you're past that, it's really not too bad. Coming the other direction, Olympia to Tacoma is nice and easy. 35 minutes there. Tacoma is quiet, and Federal Way to Seattle's about 40. So that's about right where we should be. Northbound 167, I'm looking for something as well right there, getting past Main Street as you work past 18. All in all, we got about a 40-minute trip, 42 minutes maybe to go from Puyallup up to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's about 20. Lake Bridges are still fine. 16 and 18 are off to a pretty decent start. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
6:14 now. Sir Elton John, this is gross, Katrina. He's turned pain into sparkle, literally. Katrina's here. Gross. Go ahead.
Okay, let's talk about it. After undergoing double knee replacement surgery, the music legend asked to keep his removed kneecaps and had them transformed into jewelry.
Katrina.
No.
This is what he wanted to do. So in his new documentary, Touched by Gold, Elton reveals a necklace made from his right patella and a brooch from his left, crafted by designer Theo Fennell. Listen to this.
It looks a bit like an old artifact from Egypt or something.
And the necklace even features a bone-crafted chain and a Latin engraving that says, "I will no longer bow to any man."
Katrina.
So I would ask what your thoughts are, but it seems pretty clear to me right
It's
now.
like an artifact. No, it's a part of your body. That's gross.
It's unusual, I will say that. Yeah.
You know, Katrina isn't judgmental. She likes arts for art's sake.
Okay. It's couture. You know?
It's 6:15.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Let's go!
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
That really gave me the heebie-jeebies.
You know, going from Bellevue to Seattle will not be the bee's knees for the next 3 weeks on I-90.
I get it. Expansion joint repair before 405 is expected to cause some big delays, and Sully's here with the latest.
Well, it has taken 20 months, but the state is finally going to replace the expansion joint on eastbound I-90 at the East Channel Bridge. It failed in January of last year, and for several weeks, eastbound I-90 had to be reduced to just 3 lanes. The freeway was then restriped with 4 smaller lanes, a reduced speed limit, and that's the way it's remained until now. The Washington Department of Transportation begins repairs Thursday night, and eastbound I-90 will be reduced to just 3 lanes between Island Crest Way and Bellevue Way for at least 16 straight days. This is expected to cause huge backups on eastbound 90. Here's WashDOT's James Poling.
We did see significant backups when it was down to 3 lanes in January and February 2024. And with the upcoming project, we are going to have a similar lane configuration on eastbound I-90. So we are anticipating backups in that regard.
The morning commute experienced 15 to 20-minute delays on eastbound I-90 in this configuration last year. The afternoon commute was even worse. Making the impact more severe for Mercer Island residents this time, you will only have one entry point to eastbound I-90 for the first week of construction.
The East Mercer Way on-ramp to eastbound I-90 will be closed the first 6 to 8 days of the project, in part because the expansion joint goes over the lane for the on-ramp.
That means you'll only be able to access eastbound 90 from Mercer Island from Island Crest Way during that time. You're going to have to go all the way to the west side of the island to turn around and go back east. The eastbound HOV ramp from 80th will also be closed.
We looked at every scenario possible to keep that open. There is not a safe way to install that expansion joint without closing the ramp.
WashDOT's polling says drivers need to be prepared for lane switches during the entire closure as well.
When we work in the first half of the expansion joint, traffic will be pushed to the left, and then halfway through, traffic's going to be hard pushed to the right. And that'll be signed, but it's something that for those who drive daily, be mindful of that is an active work zone.
Eastbound 90 drivers should plan on lengthy delays, as we've talked about, and polling has this reminder, and I will back him up on this one 1,000%. Don't listen to your GPS and don't go onto the island.
Cutting through Mercer Island to avoid I-90 congestion is not a viable option and only causes further issues, and it is not a faster way.
So don't trust your GPS. Mercer Island is not going to be pretty. Now, you might be wondering why it has taken so long to get to this project. I mean, it failed in January of 2024. I asked polling about the timeline.
The ordering, the assembly, the shipping, everything that comes with the part. So 2024 was never an option because it takes 6 months minimum to assemble the expansion joint.
So with that time to put that joint together, that pushed them into the winter season last year. They need good weather for this, so they pushed that off until earlier this year. They wanted to fix the joint in July or August, but what was happening in July? Oh yeah, we shut down the Ship Canal Bridge for Revive I-5. So they're like, okay, we don't want to do these two things together. So they pushed this to right now. Of course, the Mariners and Seahawks have games during this 16-day window. That's going to add to the congestion. And again, this is eastbound I-90 only. Westbound is not impacted by this, but this is going to have a significant impact pretty much throughout the entire day, no matter what time of day you're trying to go from Seattle to Bellevue on eastbound 90.
And these crews all around the state, they are on the clock right now for getting these projects done.
Yeah, for ones like this that require good weather for you to be able to pull apart the concrete, drop in an expansion joint, yeah, they're racing the weather. I mean, we've talked about construction season isn't really a season anymore, but for certain things it is. This is one of them where they need better weather. I asked, okay, we've got 16 days where that'll push us kind of towards October-y. What kind of rain are we talking about that might push this? And it's like, okay, we're talking deluge-y kind of really heavy rainstorms, a little bit of mist, drizzle, probably not too bad. So they've got a pretty good window, but that could push things a little bit if they open it up and then they get a little rain and they have to stop. But yeah, this is a little weather dependent.
And just speaking to the flaws in GPS. On Saturday, I was even texting you during this. I got stuck in a 2-hour backup that wasn't even noticed by my GPS system going on to Highway 18 from I-90.
Oh, yeah.
2-hour wait to get onto Highway 18 that the GPS didn't even pick up. So in these types of delays, it cannot be trusted.
Yeah, exactly, because it doesn't know exactly, and it might try to save you 1 minute by getting you off somewhere, then right back on, but then you realize you can't get back on, especially on Mercer Island. There's a lot of wiggle room. Right. Those streets are not very big, and even the big ones can't handle that capacity. Plus, you're going to have buses rolling through the island as well. Yeah, you're not going to save any time by getting into Mercer Island. You're just going to have to turn right back around and get back on at Island Crest Way for the first 6 to 8 days of this construction. The east side on-ramp at the East Channel Bridge will open, the second half of this. But no, don't trust your GPS on this. Listen to us.
Yes.
Nate and I will get you through this. But yeah, this is going to have a significant impact. It really did last year. So be prepared.
He's kind of our Obi-Wan Kenobi,
totally.
In Star Wars. You got to use the Force. Don't use your computers. Turn your computer off. Just use the Force, in which case it's Sully and Nate.
I'm all right
Almost there.
Yeah. Stay on target. Now we're nerding out. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Just a little.
Well, how about we check traffic now? We do it every 10 minutes. And Sully, how are we starting off this Tuesday morning?
That's actually not too bad. There's more yellow on the map than red at this point in the morning, which is pretty decent. I still haven't found the crash blocking in any way, shape, or form. It may be off on the shoulder on southbound I-5 right near the Mill Creek interchange, but I'm getting reports there might be one now a little closer to 112th, pulling away from the Boeing Freeway. Either way, we do have a kind of a sizable backup from 526 down to the Linwood Split. So plan on about 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. That's maybe a little heavier than you might have expected this time of day. Hopefully I have more for you on 10 minutes from now on what we're looking like up there in reality. Olympia to Tacoma's got 35 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle a little over 40. Really not all that bad. Northbound 167 does struggle right there at Highway 18, but by most days' standards, it's not too bad. About 45 minutes ought to pad a few mixed minutes into your travel time, which should give you just enough to get where you need to go. Renton to Bellevue, a little over 20 now, which isn't too bad. The lake bridges are quiet. 18 over Tiger Mountain doesn't look too bad. 16 back and forth between Port Orchard and Tacoma are in pretty good shape. So all in all, not bad. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Kind of unusual for this time of year, but we do have a red flag warning in effect because of some high winds through the foothills. It's going to be sunny and a little bit warmer than what we were talking about yesterday. We're looking for a high in Seattle now of 87. Of course, a little bit warmer away from the water. For tomorrow, we'll cool off to the upper 70s again, mostly sunny and down to 71 by Thursday. So far, Friday looks nice, sunny, mid-70s. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 58.
Speaking of the red flag warning, we'll talk about that fire danger coming up on Seattle's Morning News and more of our top local stories, then the opening bell report. It's 6:24.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO News Radio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM. Powered by MyNorthwest.com.
Hey, it's Dave Ross. If you have joint pain, this will interest you. Wednesday, September 17th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so if you're in pain, join the free live stem cell webinar Wednesday night at 6 to learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Leaves are falling, school's back, and the holidays are almost here. You're busy, and you need a bank that won't slow you down. WaFd Bank is here for you with free business checking. You'll have access to online banking with bill pay, mobile deposit, signer and non-signer debit cards, and the option to upgrade your account with treasury management services as your business grows. Take things to the next level with knowledgeable bankers that understand your business. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit WaFdBank.com. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
When the heat's in 11,
cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net. Get end-of-season savings of 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump while supplies last at Day and Night.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Save 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump, plus no payments or interest for a year OAC. Call for details.
Dayandnight.net.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included, for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
The Mariners' postseason push is on, and there's a whole new way to be part of the action. Introducing the Homestretch Flex Plan, a $500 membership that gives you the freedom to choose your games and seats for the rest of the season, all while saving 5% on tickets and no fees.
Strike three call, triple digits to end it and complete the sweep.
You can use your credit however you want. Go big with club seats for a couple high-stakes showdowns, or stretch it out into the final series against the Dodgers. And the best part, Homestretch Flex members get priority access to our postseason pre-sale. That means you're first in line when October comes calling. The team is locked in.
J.P. Crawford! Game winner, walk-off fashion in the ninth inning.
And now it's time to bring the energy down the stretch. Come on board today at mariners.com/homestretch. Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Hey, it's Brock Heward. My family did it, and it saved us thousands. You got to do it. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It's free. See how much First Mark can save you and how much better coverage you can get. They work for you. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:30. It is going to be hot today, and that heat brings serious fire danger.
Nick Allard on KIRO 7 says temperatures will hit the mid to upper 80s.
And it will be hot. So we have increasing smoke and haze. We have breezy weather, especially breezy to windy in the Cascade foothills. The rest of us will feel more like, why don't we say 10 to 20 out of the east southeast as the day goes on, and it'll be 85. Not a record. The record in Seattle is 91, but boy, that is still warm for this time of year.
And it's the wind that has firefighters most concerned. Gusts could reach 45 miles per hour with trees still full of leaves. Damage could be worse than usual. So we have that red flag warning in effect for the Cascades and South Sound. 2 brush fires in Seattle this week show how fast flames can spread. Crews say that dry brush and low humidity makes conditions ripe for more fires.
Tomorrow, the recently ousted director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will appear before Congress to talk about the recent turmoil at the agency. Here's KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
The Senate's Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, or HELP Committee, will hear from Dr. Susan Menares, who Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. recently fired. Washington Democrat Patty Murray is on the HELP Committee.
President Trump decided to hand the keys to CDC to an anti-vaccine activist.
Saying I'm anti-vaccine is like saying I'm anti-medicine.
Kennedy has said he had to fire people at the CDC because they weren't doing their jobs. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
A Skagit County restaurant owner has pleaded guilty to trafficking black bear parts. The Washington State Standard reports Yan Lee admitted buying bear gallbladders, paws, and livers. She bought them from an undercover wildlife officer during a 2021 investigation. She was sentenced to 45 days of home confinement and fined $1,800. Officials say the black market demand for bear parts threatens wildlife populations. The case was handled by Fish and Wildlife and the Attorney General's office.
Pickleball players, time to reset your clocks. Seattle's cutting court hours. Seattle Parks and Recreation reducing hours at Gilman Playground, Laurelhurst Playfield, and Mount Baker Park. This comes as neighbors raised repeated concerns about noise. This week, games must wrap up by 7 p.m. instead of 10.
And news this morning that Hollywood legend Robert Redford has died at 89. Here's CBS's Steve Caven.
For decades, Robert Redford was the essence of big screen charm.
I'll jump first. No, then you jump first. No, I said. What's the matter with you? I can't swim!
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid with Paul Newman launched a string of iconic roles stretching from the 1960s into the 80s.
I'm Bob Woodward of the Washington Post.
There was All the President's Men in 1976 about Watergate. Redford was also an Oscar-winning director, the force behind the Sundance Film Festival, and involved in several environmental causes. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
It's now 6:33, and that's time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. So, Lee, what's going on?
All right, got better handle on what we've got going on southbound I-5 in two spots getting away from the South Everett area. First, right there at 112th, right by the Park and Ride, we've got a crash involving a couple of different cars. It's over on the left-hand shoulder, but there's enough of a distraction there. That's what's causing the slowing right there away from 526. The other issues down at the Mill Creek interchange, little fender bender over on the right-hand shoulder, but there's a state trooper there, so a little bit of a distraction. So that's why we're running at 45 minutes now from Everett to Seattle, 50 from Everett to Bellevue. There's also some brake lights away from Linwood on 405. Coming the other direction, northbound I-5, Olympia to Tacoma, a little slowing in Lacey, but 35 minutes to Tacoma is not bad. Little braking up the hill to 18, primarily in that right-hand lane, and then Federal Way to Seattle is about 45 minutes. 45 is what we have from Puyallup up to Renton, definitely seeing a little bit more action at Auburn and at the north end, and those Renton S-curves have really started to heat up. We're looking at 25 to 28 minutes to go from Renton to Bellevue. Across the lake, no issues. 18 over Tiger Mountain, looking pretty good at this particular point. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org.
Hot one today, at least for the middle of September. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. Very dry and very windy in both the Cascade foothills and also in the South Sound. That means there's a red flag warning, meaning high fire danger. So we want to be careful out today. High 80s today, tomorrow mid 70s, so we definitely cool down low 70s by Thursday. Seattle right now, we have clear skies and 53.
6:35, and that's time for your opening bell report. The Federal Reserve kicks off its most anticipated meeting of 2025 today. Here's CBS News business reporter Jason Brooks.
Wall Street is expecting that the Fed will cut its benchmark lending rate for the first time in 2025 after pausing rates at all 6 meetings so far this year. Labor market deterioration is seen by the market as a bigger concern for the central bank than sticky inflation, as job growth has stalled over the summer, while unemployment claims are at the highest level since 2021. Consumer inflation, meanwhile, is up 3% compared to a year ago, but wholesale prices in August dipped from the previous month.
An appeals court rejects the president's bid to unseat a Federal Reserve governor. Here's CBS News correspondent Matt Piper.
The court has ruled that Lisa Cook can remain a Federal Reserve governor. The decision all but ensures she will remain a governor on the 7-member Fed board through a 2-day meeting of its interest rate setting committee, which Cook sits on and is set to begin Tuesday. The Trump administration is expected to quickly turn to the Supreme Court in a last-ditch bid to unseat Cook before that. Trump moved to oust Cook from the Fed's board of governors last month over allegations of mortgage fraud, though she is denied any wrongdoing.
Trump tried to fire Cook August 25th, but a federal judge ruled last week the removal was illegal.
U.S. and Chinese officials say they have agreed to the outlines of a deal to resolve the question of TikTok's ownership. Last year, Congress passed and then President Biden signed a bill that would force TikTok's China-based parent company to divest from it, or the social media platform would be banned in the U.S. CBS News senior business and technology correspondent Jolene Kent has the update.
There are very few details on what this framework actually is, but what we know is Treasury Secretary Bessent has said, as well as the Chinese side, by the way, have said a broad framework has been struck. Bessent saying that the commercial terms of the deal have also been determined, but declined to say if it includes the sale of TikTok to a U.S. company or entity, or if that sale would include the sale of the algorithm.
Supporters of the bill claim there's a potential national security risk, while opponents say no evidence of actual harm has been provided and that a ban would violate users' free speech.
Ford is shifting gears and moving its world headquarters in Dearborn, Michigan, after a 70-year run in its iconic glass building. CBS News Detroit's Alicia Bergio has details.
It's about time. This is a massive part of their transformation journey, and I couldn't be more excited.
Auto expert Jan Griffiths applauds Ford for moving the automaker in what she says in the right direction. The company announced Monday the move of its world headquarters in Dearborn. It will replace its decades-old iconic glass house headquarters, what Ford calls the nerve center of its global operations. That building to be torn down and repurposed.
We've got to change the way we think and the way we act in the auto industry in order to survive. And this is one way that Ford is doing that.
Speaking of cars, it may be hard to believe, but AAA says the total cost of owning and driving a new vehicle has dropped from a year ago.
AAA says you will spend nearly $12,000 on your vehicle this year. That's about $965 per month. Greg Brannon is AAA's Director of Automotive Research.
Costs are down slightly from the previous year, but that still doesn't mean it's cheap.
Brannon explains the average cost of a new vehicle is down, as are fuel prices and auto loan finance charges. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Shoppers increased their spending at a better-than-expected pace in August from July, helped by back-to-school purchases, even as tariffs are starting to hurt the job market and lead to price hikes. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger has more.
Overall, this report shows that although people are not feeling good about the economy, they are not acting that way. They continue to spend money. It does put into question whether or not the Federal Reserve should consider an even larger rate cut when they meet today and tomorrow.
A new Chick-fil-A is coming to Lake Stevens this fall. The restaurant is under construction at 8703 Soper Hill Road. That's near Marysville. The company hasn't announced an exact opening date yet.
On Wall Street, we're in the positive with the S&P 500 ahead by 2 points. Really just down 1 point on the NASDAQ and down 13 points on the Dow Jones. So very flat start to the day.
Well, back to school means 10,000 buses, more than 1 million students, and 60,000 teachers are hitting the roads. Even if you don't have kids, your morning routine just got a wake-up call. With KIRO 7 pinpoint weather and real-time traffic every 10 minutes, you'll be totally prepared and know what to expect before it hits. From breaking news to changing skies and slowdowns you wouldn't see coming, KIRO 7 News in the morning has your back to school. Watch weekdays 4:30 to 7 only on KIRO 7 TV.
All right, Chris, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, I'm checking the conditions in Tokyo. Oh, no, sorry, that's where Tommy is. Sorry. Yeah.
No
sorry.
Midnight phone calls or
anything
anything
we've
yet?
been checking with the he's a long night flight last night. We're going to be checking the drive coming down out of Snohomish County. Had a couple issues there between the Everett Mall and the Alderwood Mall, so we'll break it down next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
When I needed some work done on my roof, there was only one company to call, Valentine Roofing. Hey, it's Jake Skorheim, and when I needed my roof fixed, Valentine Roofing went the extra mile to get there fast. They got my roof looking like new again. The scheduling was seamless and easy. Even though I couldn't be there, they still got the job done and sent me all the details with a link to pictures and video from the service. And let me tell you, if your roof or gutters are not fall ready, if those asphalt shingles are cracking and breaking down from years of moss, which is what happened on my roof, if your gutters are sagging, clogged, or pulling away, you should do what I did and call Valentine Roofing. Don't trust your home to anyone else. Those leaves, needles, and branches will fall, and the rain will come. But fortunately, Valentine makes knocking out that fall checklist stress-free. They'll even insulate your attic and clean the exterior of your home. And with zero-down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. This fall, give your home the Valentine it deserves. Check them out online at valentineroof.com or call 206-ROOFING and get your free estimate today. That's 206-ROOFING.
So what will you have today? Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry?
When it comes to picking ice cream, there are lots of choices, and they all look and sound so good. Choosing a Medicare plan is a lot like that. So many options, all sound good. But if you pick a plan that's not right for you, there can be serious consequences. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Open enrollment season is right around the corner, and you're going to be inundated with advertisements encouraging you to choose this Medicare Advantage plan or that one. Maybe the best choice for you is traditional Medicare. To make an informed decision, you need to do your homework. The Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program has a free Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit to get you started.
This is Insurance Commissioner Patty Kuderer. Our Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit has a checklist of 7 easy steps to help you decide which Medicare plan is right for you.
Order your free toolkit today at insurance.wa.gov. That's insurance.wa.gov. Or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center. Then go get an ice cream.
When the heat's an 11,
Cool AC would be heaven.
dayandnight.net. Get end-of-season savings of 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump while supplies last at Day and Night.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Save 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump, plus no payments or interest for a year OAC. Call for details. dayandnight.net.
It's 6:43. Let's check traffic with Sully.
And we've added a couple more minutes onto our commute just about everywhere, but nothing too out of line. If you're coming down from the north end, 2 little issues to keep an eye on. They're both on the shoulder, but they're the reason why you're slow. From the Everett Mall down to the Alderwood Mall, we have basically a crash right there at 112th over on the left-hand side, as you would use to get off at the park and ride there. And then there's one right at the Mill Creek interchange that's off on the right-hand shoulder. Neither blocking, but enough of a distraction. Give yourself 50 minutes now from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. The Rented to Bellevue drive has added a few more customers as well. Definitely looking at a half an hour to make that drive to Bellevue. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, definitely seeing more action as well. We've got 50 minutes from Puyallup up into Renton. There's also some slowing down the South Hill on 512, and 410 is heavy through Sumner. Northbound I-5 starting to bog down, approaching Highway 18, coming up the Fife Hill. Plan on a few extra minutes there, and then Federal Way to Seattle's at 50 now, so definitely starting to see a little bit more backing up there. Olympia to Tacoma, though, freeway speed the whole way. 16 looks good. 18 is heavy over Tiger Mountain now. The lake bridges are still fine. So as we are approaching our first peak of the morning, definitely starting to see things heat up. This report brought to you by FlySeaportAir.com. Seaport Airlines offering high-frequency shuttle service between Boeing Field and Portland. Use code FALL2025 and save 20%. Book now, FlySeaportAir.com.
We're going to crank up the heat for just one day. 87 in Seattle, warmer toward the foothills, and we also have a red flag warning in effect. That means fire danger is high, especially near the foothills where it'll be windy today, too. For tomorrow, we'll cool off to about 76, mostly sunny. Some clouds roll in on Thursday, but still peaks of sunshine and 71. Friday looks nice, mid-70s. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 58.
6:45 now. Tom Brady coming out of retirement again.
Oh, boy.
Well, kind of. Here's KIRO Newsradio's Katrina Gishard.
I like that, kind of. Well, he broke the news before last night's Chargers-Raiders game. He's coming out of retirement to play flag football. Brady, of course, is now a broadcaster and part owner of the Raiders. He said on Vegas Sports Today he'll play in a tournament next March in Saudi Arabia.
This is a first-of-its-kind round-robin tournament that will expose even more fans to our great game.
Everyone should see Sully's face right now if you're watching us on YouTube. Some current NFL stars and coaches will be part of it. Flag football will be an official Olympic sport in 2028. Brady has not ruled out yet if he'll participate.
If I don't have anything nice to say, I won't say anything.
I love the idea. I think this is great.
I love the idea. I just didn't want to talk about Tom Brady.
In Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Well, it's a little problematic.
But I'm just thinking, okay, these guys who are such great players, but maybe they don't want to take the tackles anymore. That would be fun to watch retired NFL players play flag football.
It's not an Olympic sport either. But
I'm sorry, Sully, it is. When we should win the gold.
Well, yeah, I mean, now that it is, of course, I want us to win the gold. There's no doubt, but it's not. That's not an Olympic sport. I'm sorry.
Sully wants less opportunities for America to win the gold. I think is what he's saying.
You know,
well, I'd like
you
us
will
to
be
win
reported.
In real sports, not 7-on-7.
All right. Well, coming up, we'll have today's personal finance update from Brian Evans at Madrona Financial Service on Seattle's Morning News.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident
accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
Time now for a personal finance update. Brian Evans from Madrona Financial and CPAs join us. Brian, thank you for being here today.
You bet.
And I wanted to talk about finally getting there. You're retired and you've got this nest egg. And for so many people I hear, they're afraid to spend the money once they have the opportunity to spend it. What have you observed about this?
Well, that's very true. In fact, I'd say in less than 5% of my meetings, a lot of people think I talk about budgeting and not spending money because I'm a financial, advisor. It's just the opposite. I'm trying to talk people into spending money. That is the most common theme of most of my clients, that they were brought up by Depression era parents that said, save everything, don't ever spend anything. It could all go away in a minute. And so they believe that their whole lives. They've been good investors, savers, not very good at spending. And, you don't take the stripes off the zebra as you get older. So here they are. They're saving every dime. It doesn't matter how old they are.
Obviously, you don't want to go crazy with it. But is there a way of budgeting for this, figuring out how much they can spend and not feel guilty about it?
Yeah, everything in my business has to do with the financial plan. So you budget everything into a financial plan, your income, inflation, income taxes, required minimum distributions, spending. And you put in special spending like travel budgets and other kinds of budgets that that are going to come up. And once they see that, they don't believe it all the time. You mean I can spend some money? I'm like, yes, you can. And I'll show them that. And so it really starts with a plan.
So a lot of people worry about the balance, right, of enjoying their retirement, but also not running out of money at some point.
Right. Yeah. So one of the things that I do in that plan that we have is a lot of people think about a budget as something they can't go over. I can't spend more than X. I actually might put in a budget of spending where you have to at least spend that amount to force people to go, you mean I don't have to save it? Well, no, you're a certain age. We know your finances. Try and spend this money. And they kind of look at that number sometimes and go, I can't spend any money. I just don't even know how. And so I'm actually trying to budget for a lot of my clients to spend more.
And have you seen clients who are regretful they haven't spent money on something? I'm thinking gifts for the grandkids, stuff like that.
Oh, I've seen that a lot. One story that comes to mind is this woman that had this dream cruise. It was 2 months. And I said, well, when are you going to take it? And she's never. I said, why not? You got the money. She goes, I know, but it's too expensive. I said, define too expensive. And she, well, I just can't do it. And I said, well, you know what? That cruise is going to happen. She goes, it is? And I said, yeah, your kids, after you pass, they're going to inherit your money. They're going to take the cruise and toast you with a glass of champagne for paying for the cruise that you thought was too expensive, but they went on anyway.
Brian joins us 6:45 on Tuesdays here on KIRO News Radio. If you're watching this stream, you can just click below to find out more. Thanks, Brian.
It's now 6:53 and time to check your Tuesday drive. We do this every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
No real surprises out there as we push towards 7 a.m. We do have the brake lights in the usual places. Going to start on the Valley Freeway where we are getting to about 50 minutes to go from Puyallup to Renton. Some brake lights through Sumner. More coming up out of Auburn. And
it's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
$15 on northbound 167 coming out of the Auburn area really won't save you much time at all because that left lane is as backed up as the main line in most spots. Coming down from the north end, we've had that little crash over on the left shoulder near 112th, another one near 164th on the right shoulder. That's why we're still kind of slow there. And then the normal stuff away from Linwood. So we're over 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. The Trestle's manageable. 522 looks normal. Highway 9 looks normal as well. Brake lights there in the usual places. The Renton to Bellevue drive, we've got about 30 minutes, maybe 32 minutes. By the time you're up to 30th, it actually thins out pretty nicely. There's a little bit into South Bellevue. That's just people trying to get into downtown before 7 a.m. Northbound I-5, Federal Way to Seattle's pretty heavy up past 272nd through the weaving and merging there. A little bit at the north end, not quite to an hour from Federal Way to Seattle, but we're getting close. Olympia to Tacoma's freeway speed the whole way. Some brake lights up the Fife Hill. Checking into that, see if we might have anything out of the ordinary. Highway 18 over Tiger Mountain, very heavy, but by the time you make it about halfway down the east slope to I-90, you're in pretty decent shape. Lake bridges are fine, though there is some braking trying to approach the Montlake area on eastbound Highway 520. Looking at this report brought to you by KIRO News Radio. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Very warm, hot for this time of year in Seattle. 87 the forecast high, and windy and dry, especially in the foothills and in the south sound. That means there's a red flag warning, a fire danger today. So be very careful when you're outside and you have anything flammable, even like sparks from chains that you use to tow your trailers, stuff like that. Just be careful with that. Tomorrow we'll be back to the mid 70s, low 70s for Thursday. Right now it is clear in 53.
Our flag football debate continues on the text line. If breakdancing is an Olympic sport, so is flag football, says Garth.
Well, Sully disagrees, though.
No, neither of them are Olympic sports.
He only basically wants 5 sports to be in the Olympics, and flag football is not one of them.
But there are a few we could weed out.
All right. Well, coming up, we have the day's top stories from CBS News, the passing of a Hollywood icon, Robert Redford. And then at 7:15, we'll speak with New York Times investigative reporter David Fahrenthold with the big stories of the week.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
Well, you're getting ready every morning. Make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well,
I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
Hey, Brock Heward here. Taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge could save your family a lot of money. It saved us thousands. First Mark works for you. Search in the carriers for lower rates and better coverage. If that sounds smart, go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Take your business to the next level in 2025 with help from WaFd Bank. WaFd Bank's business accounts and cash flow tools get you paid in hours, not weeks, so you can grow your business and meet your goals. You need a best bank. Visit wafdbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing. When it's time to get that roof replaced, choose Guardian with our expert insured team and our Guardian Guarantee. Call now and get 1 year of maintenance free with the installation of a new roof, or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez, a screen idol, a director, and activist. Robert Redford, who was all of those things, died today at the age of 89. Syracuse University's Robert Thompson.
Robert Redford dominated American film acting in the 1970s.
He starred in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Way We Were, and All the President's Men.
All we've got are pieces. We can't seem to figure out what the puzzle is supposed to look like. John Mitchell resigns as the head of CREEP and says that he wants to spend more time with his family.
In 2008, Redford told CBS Sunday Mornings he had to work hard to get that movie made.
It took 4 years. Yeah. And the studio didn't. They said politics. I don't think so. You know, Watergate is a dead issue, and I said it's not. It's a detective story.
It went on to receive 4 Oscars. Redford also founded the Sundance Film Festival. His agent says Redford died in his sleep at his home in the mountains outside Provo, Utah. Breaking news from New York. A judge has just dismissed terrorism charges against Luigi Mangione in the state's case over the killing of a United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. Judge Gregory Caro kept second-degree murder charges against the Ivy League grad. Mangione's lawyers argued the New York and a parallel federal death penalty prosecution amount to double jeopardy. KIRO rejected the argument, calling it premature. FBI Director Kash Patel is testifying on Capitol Hill right now, defending his agency's actions during the Charlie Kirk shooting investigation.
These people worked through the night without sleep for days on end. They are to be commended. They are not to be attacked.
He says his order to release never-before-seen video of the suspect played a crucial role in his arrest. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson is expected to make a virtual court appearance in Utah later today. President Trump has issued a warning to Hamas not to harm the hostages after Israel began its ground offensive in Gaza City this morning.
I hear Hamas is trying to use the old human shield deal, and if they do that, they're going to be in big trouble.
Thousands of people streamed out of Gaza City with the aim, Israeli officials say, to destroy Hamas military infrastructure. Americans spent more than analysts expected over the summer, even as new tariffs kicked in and triggered price hikes. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
Retail sales are up 5% from a year ago. And in the June through August period, a period where people have said that they were worried about the job market, sales up 4.5%.
The Federal Reserve is focusing on an interest rate cut as it begins a two-day meeting. Dow's down 77. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We've got a hot, windy, and dry day ahead, and that is sparking concerns about wildfire danger. We'll talk about that after we check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
And we've got no real surprises as we start the 7 o'clock hour. Travel times right where they should be. And we've been relatively accident-free. We've had a couple of things between the Everett Mall and the Alderwood Mall that never really were blocking over on the shoulder. But we are definitely seeing brake lights through Shoreline and through Bothell. Hour drives from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. And we're getting closer to an hour now as well from Federal Way to Seattle. Kind of heavy from 320th up past 272nd, and then a pretty big gap in the middle until you hit the West Seattle Bridge, and then it's pretty heavy the rest of the way on up. 35 minutes plus now from Renton to Bellevue. The brake lights extend all the way from 167 to about 44th now before freeing up a little bit more in Bellevue. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, 50 minutes from end to end. No real surprises for you guys. Looking at northbound I-5 from Olympia to Tacoma, looking pretty good. Might have a new crash in the Spanaway area just north of the Roy Y. Looks like it's right there, right past the interchange there, so plan on a little bit of a delay there. Lake bridges, though, are in good shape. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning, it's 7:04. Get ready for a hot and hazy Tuesday. We're looking at highs in the mid to upper 80s.
Nick Allard on KIRO 7 says fire danger is extreme thanks to dry brush and gusty winds.
The wind is turning offshore, so that cuts off the moderating effect of the ocean. And for a number of reasons, whether it's the source region where the air is coming from, or the fact that the wind goes up the Cascades and back down and is forced to warm by compression, we're going to have hot weather.
And a red flag warning is up for the Cascades and South Sound. Wind gusts could hit 45 miles an hour, they say, with trees still full of leaves. Damage could be worse than usual. Seattle firefighters are urging caution after 2 brush fires in 2 days. Sunday's fire on Beacon Hill sent 2 people to Harborview and damaged 4 homes. It spread very fast. Embers were reportedly the size of dollar bills. Yesterday's fire near I-90 didn't damage homes, but filled the air with smoke. Crews say the risk remains high until conditions cool down, and that will happen starting tomorrow.
A 29-year-old man has been charged with last week's double homicide in Burien.
King County prosecutors have charged Marvin Ortiz Montesinos with first-degree murder. They say last week he killed his girlfriend because she'd broken up with him and her roommate because she tried to stop him. Douglas Wagner is with the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office.
The girlfriend received 20-plus stab wounds. The roommate experienced 40-some-odd stab wounds. This was a pretty horrific murder.
His bail is set at $10 million, and he's due in court on Wednesday morning. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
The man accused of breaking into the homes of local celebrities has pleaded not guilty. The update from KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker.
Prosecutors claim 29-year-old Patrick Masonette broke into the homes of rapper Macklemore, Mariners pitcher Luis Castillo, and former Seahawks star Richard Sherman, among others. Masonette is also accused of breaking into Baseball Hall of Famer Ichiro Suzuki's home and even pepper spraying his wife. He is now being held on multiple bails totaling $2 million. million.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Thought we'd play some music from Robert Redford movies this morning.
If you're just joining us, he has died at the age of 89.
What a career. Think of all those films. The Natural, All the President's Men, and of course, The Sting.
Icon is fitting.
Yeah. That gets overused a lot, but not in the case of Robert Redford. We'll have another song from one of his movies in the next hour.
And you're back from your big concert-going experience.
I survived.
Good time?
And I got to tell you, it's probably been 20 years since I was basically right at the front of a stage for a show.
Ooh, in the mosh pit?
Yeah. It was a Flaming Lips concert on Sunday night. It wasn't as crowded as one would expect. And, Flaming Lips fans nowadays are, my age. So maybe not as wild as we would have been 30 years ago.
No crowd surfing.
Yeah, not much crowd surfing.
Well, it's nice to have you back. Chris Sullivan is here checking the roads on the threes. Producer David Burbank is here with his Seattle Mariners hat on again. Go M's back in action today.
Yeah, that's a 4:40 game, 7:10. And what were we saying last hour? There's really good chances of the Mariners making the playoffs. Maybe we'll even talk about that in a couple minutes.
Sounds good. Coming up this hour of the show, our weekly chat with New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold. He's going to weigh in on how conservatives have rallied around the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and also his thoughts on the $15 billion lawsuit President Trump is filing against the Times.
And in my morning commentary at 7:35, gas prices in our state continue to go up. No end in sight. What's behind it? And why we might expect them to go up even more next month.
It's 7:08. The Linden School District is establishing Charlie Kirk Day to honor the conservative activist killed last week.
He was shot while speaking at a college event in Utah. The moment the board there in Linden says highlights the need for peaceful civic engagement. According to this post on Reddit of the ruling, the new observance will fall the Monday before September 10th each year. Linden's resolution also encourages student debate clubs, saying they help build listening, reasoning, and leadership skills. The board hopes students will take the lead in marking the day.
Clown masks, handguns, extended magazines, and fear of kidnapping, all just after midnight in Seattle Monday. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch explains.
It happened along Aurora Avenue North and North 128th Street. Two women who frequent the area flagged down an officer and reported two men wearing clown masks and carrying at least one gun approached them the night before. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
The victims felt that those two suspects were trying to abduct them.
Police spotted the suspect vehicle. Inside the car, they say they found the masks, guns, and extended magazines. A 19-year-old man and a 17-year-old boy were arrested for investigation of felony harassment. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Prosecutors say a federal wayman made $1 million selling stolen merchandise on Amazon and eBay, and now he has to give that money back. He's facing up to 5 years in prison. The feds say he and his partner ran the business called We Buy Gold, Silver, and Electronics in Burien. Prosecutors say they'd use the storefront to buy stolen goods, then turn around and sell them online. The man will be sentenced in December, and his alleged partner is expected to go on trial early next year.
There was a massive hazard scare at Naval Station Everett yesterday afternoon. We get the details from KIRO 7 TV's El Thomas.
The potentially dangerous package was received on base just before 1. People were sent to the hospital as a precaution, although we're told no one was showing symptoms. They went through treatment procedures just in case. We now know it was inorganic and declared non-hazardous.
A Friday night football game between Lakes and Bonnie Lake ended early. The varsity matchup was called off at halftime. This is because of tensions between the teams. It just got too high. Lakes coach Dave Miller told the News Tribune officials missed a lot of calls early on. He says that helped escalate the situation on the field. Didn't go into details, and Bonnie Lake's coach couldn't be reached. Now there's an investigation into what happened.
Seattle is dialing back the hours at 3 popular pickleball courts. KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard explains.
Seattle Parks and Recreation says the new hours come after repeated noise complaints from nearby residents. Gilman Playground, Laurelhurst Playfield, and Mount Baker Park will now close at 7 p.m. instead of 10. Locks will be put on the courts for 30 days to enforce the new hours if there is evidence that someone uses the facilities outside those periods. The locks could become permanent if there are further violations. Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
It's getting serious. Lock up the court. Pickleball.
It's getting so popular.
Yeah, it's true. Well, speaking of popular, how about the Mariners? Seattle's playoff chances are soaring thanks to a 9-game winning streak.
This is amazing.
Yeah. So Fangraphs, they calculate the odds. They dot the I's and slash the T's. They say the Mariners have 96% chance of playing in the playoffs. 96% chance. They are a half game ahead of Houston with 12 games to go. KIRO 7 TV reports the division odds are strong. Odds of winning the division, nearly 68%. And, should I even say it?
Go ahead.
Their chances of winning the World Series. Words that have never come out of my mouth, but the Mariners winning the World Series, there's an 11% chance of that happening.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I'll take it. Final stretch starts tonight in Kansas City. They will then have a key series in Houston. You can catch the game today, 4:40 on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
Go Mariners. It's 7:12, and that's time for a check on the weather. It's brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. For today, sunny and hot. Red flag warning because of the high fire danger. It's going to be a little bit windy. 87 our expected high for today. Warmer near the foothills and in the South Sound. For tomorrow, cooling off already. 76 tomorrow in the sunshine, and then Thursday we'll see a few clouds roll in. That'll keep us even cooler, about 71. Back to the mid-70s on Friday. Right now, a few clouds and 58 in Seattle.
It is 7:13. Let's go to Chris Sullivan for traffic on the 3s.
And it's a relatively normal Tuesday out there across the board. The brake lights right where they should be. Probably the heaviest drive is the 405 northbound corridor through those Renton S-curves up through Newcastle and Factoria before breaking free. We've got about a 40-minute trip now from Renton to Bellevue, so a couple of minutes behind schedule. We usually don't get up over 40 for a little bit later into the morning, but that's what we have right now. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, 30 minutes out of Auburn and a little over 50 out of Puyallup. There are some brake lights past 24th that appear to just be volume at this point, but I'm checking into it. Northbound I-5, Olympia to Tacoma is pretty good. There's been some off and on slowing in Fife. That appears to be a little sun glare. So plan on a little bit of slowing there. And then Federal Way to Seattle's about an hour, relatively normal. Eastbound 16 is a little heavy past Cheney Stadium now, past 19th there. That's also probably a little bit of sun glare at this particular point in the morning. Across the lake, we're doing great. Coming down from the north end, a little over an hour from Everett to Bellevue, about an hour from Everett to Seattle. Brake lights there right away from Linwood. A little bit up by the Everett Mall. That's because of an earlier crash that's over on the left shoulder near 112th. 18 over Tiger Mountain is manageable, and I'm still looking for this crash on northbound Highway 7, right in Spanaway, right at the Roy Y. We're seeing backups in both directions there. I'm not sure how bad it is, but just plan on maybe a couple of extra moments. This report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio. I'm Chris Sullivan.
It's 7:14, and after years of silence, Anna Wintour is finally sharing her thoughts on The Devil Wears Prada. Katrina Gashard is back with more.
Wintour talked about Meryl Streep's role as the harsh magazine editor, often assumed to have been modeled after her.
And you have no style or sense of fashion?
Well, I think that depends on what you're...
No. That wasn't a question.
Love that scene so much. So speaking on the New Yorker Radio Hour, the longtime Vogue editor revealed she actually attended the film's premiere back in 2006. And here are their thoughts.
Listen, it had a lot of humor to it. It had a lot of wit. It had Meryl Streep. It was Emily Blunt. They were all amazing. And in the end, I thought it was a fair shot.
And as for what's next, the highly anticipated sequel will come out next May.
I can't wait.
Me too.
It's 7:15.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Every Tuesday, we call up New York Times investigative reporter David Fahrenthold to talk about the big stories of the week.
Well, let's start with a big one from last week. Of course, the murder of Charlie Kirk. Good morning, David. Many conservative sources citing the assassination as a galvanizing event among party members. What do you think that's going to look like in the coming years?
Well, it's a great question. There are so many young people, especially young men, who were brought to political activism, conservatism, the Republican Party by Charlie Kirk and by the organization that he founded. And now you see this guy that was sort of not just a leader, but also because of social media, somebody you felt like you knew pretty well, killed right in front of you. I mean, we all unfortunately have seen that horrible video. I don't think it's easy to predict how it's going to change people's minds. If it's going to turn people, to want to carry out more of his life's work, if it's going to turn people to want to, renounce violence or embrace violence. It's so hard to know, and it sort of depends, I think, on how the people that claim his mantle, the people who are Augustus to his Caesar, the people that are going to be the ones who carry it on, look, what do they want? What do they call for? How do they try to channel it?
What does that say about us? I've just been sickened when I hear people almost justifying this or saying that somehow political violence is warranted in some cases. What does that say about where we are as Americans?
It's awful. I mean, I think about it sort of in the same way I think about the people who celebrate the guy who shot the health insurance executive last year, like he's some sort of folk hero. These people, Charlie Kirk especially, he was a political activist. He does what a zillion other people do. He was trying to build a movement to get people interested in a set of causes and ideals. And, people are mad at, hated him because he was so good at it. And a lot of people disagree with him, but that, there's nothing in American politics that says you have to kill that person or that, that you should consider violence. The way we do it is if you think he's wrong, go argue against him, build a better movement, get more people on your side. And it is sickening, I think, to see people celebrate. Now, I haven't been that many, but the people that have, that are sort of celebrating this and acting like there's no other way to deal with, to oppose what he stood for than to use violence.
David, we also speak each week with News Nation host Leland Vittert, who took some heat nationally and with some of our listeners last week when he pointed out likenesses between the assassination of Kirk and that of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Do you think there are symbolic similarities?
Well, I guess neither one of them was held elective office. Both of them were shot for what they believed in, apparently. In this case, I still feel like we don't know that much about the person that killed him. I think we know who did it, but his motivations seem so. Was he connected to a larger group? Was he part of some broader ideology? Was this just somebody who was kind of disaffected and hatching this plan by himself? It's hard to, obviously King and Kirk were leaders of movements, but very different movements in very different times. It's hard to draw parallels, I think, until we really know more about the person that, committed the assassination.
All right, David, let's shift gears to some other big news this week, and that is an apparent deal between the U.S. and China to keep TikTok in operation in the States. What are you hearing, and what are the next steps here?
Well, just step back for a second and remember that Trump was the one who led this push, and then it was picked up by a lot of Republicans and then Joe Biden to ban TikTok because it was considered a security threat since, so much of the control of the app was in China. And then Trump got elected with the support of a large number of, unexpectedly large number of youth voters who would not want TikTok to go away. And he also was backed by a guy who was a big investor in TikTok. So, I do think that, I was not surprised that there's some sort of deal reached. I think Trump's motivation to get rid of TikTok now is close to zero. And I imagine there'll be some sort of thing like we've seen in other cases where the U.S. government, has some sort of share in it or gets some sort of piece of the revenue. That's my guess, is it'll be something like these other deals where Trump negotiates some deal where the U.S. government gets a piece of it.
We're talking with New York Times investigative reporter David Fahrenthold. Also out this morning, an announcement that President Trump is filing a defamation lawsuit against the New York Times. He actually wrote, "Today I have the great honor of bringing a $15 billion defamation and libel lawsuit against the New York Times." Any reaction? What can you add this morning?
Well, I haven't read the lawsuit. I don't know what the allegations are, but it's just important to remember that he has been suing news media outlets and reporters for much of his life. This is not a new thing that he's suing media outlets. He did it in his first term. He did it when he was just a private citizen. He did it during the campaign. And what has changed, the only thing that's really changed about that tactic was that some of the people have agreed to settle. ABC News and at least one other news outlet, I think it was CBS, agreed after Trump won the 2024 election to settle and basically pay him a bunch of money. Those folks were under pressure because of a merger and because of potential regulation by the FCC. So, I don't want to comment whether what they did was right or wrong to settle with it. But Trump has never won, as far as I can remember, won a case like this on the merits. That is, he's never succeeded because a judge found that he was right, that he'd been defamed or libeled by a news media outlet. Not to say it couldn't happen or that a judge couldn't find that way in the future, but in general, he has a long record of filing these things and not a huge record of winning them.
Okay, David, your colleagues at the Times were out with this story yesterday about the Trump family and crypto. It seems like the type of thing you've been talking about for a long time now. What can you tell us about this story, and what are you watching?
Oh, it was an amazing story. Basically, it's about two different deals that on the surface were unrelated. In one case, the U.S. let the United Arab Emirates have access to a bunch of very powerful computer chips, which in the past we've been reluctant to give the UAE because the UAE has such close relationships with China. They have joint military exercises with China and things like that. We were afraid that those chips would fall into Chinese hands. So the Trump administration agrees to give the UAE what they want, this huge number of advanced chips. And at the same time, the UAE puts a huge amount of money. The UAE as a sovereign wealth fund, as a government, puts a huge amount of money into the Trump family's private crypto business, basically gives, I think, $2 billion to that crypto business in a way that establishes this kind of no-name crypto thing that Trump had started it as one of the bigger and most important exchanges. So these were two deals that were theoretically unrelated, but each of them is lopsided in a way. The chips deal is lopsided for the UAE; they got everything that they wanted, and the other deal is lopsided for the Trumps. The UAE gives up something, sort of gets a bad deal, and the Trumps get a good deal. But if you look at them together, it looks like Trump came out ahead and the UAE as a government came out ahead, and what lost was the U.S.'s security interests in keeping these chips out of Chinese hands.
David, it seems to me that this is going to be lost in the headlines after, 24 hours. How big of a deal would this have been if, let's say, George W. Bush were accused of this when he was president, or Barack Obama?
I mean, it would have been an enormous deal. Before Trump, outside of Trump, we've never had a president who mixed his personal business interests with, who did personal business with the same governments that our government is dealing with. There's been nobody who would set himself up in a way to benefit personally at the same time giving away things that the U.S. government finds valuable. So yes, in any other circumstance, if this had been hidden by George W. Bush or Barack Obama, it would have been an enormous deal. But you're right, with Trump, because of the way people are now used to the fact that he mixes his personal profit and the country's business, it doesn't even last very long in the headlines.
Well, you definitely live in different times. David, thanks for your time as always. New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold.
Thank you.
It's 7:23 now. Let's head over to the traffic desk with Sully.
Yep, and I'm trying to start doing a couple things at once. Yeah, just got a note from the 253 asking why we're all stopped at northbound 167 at Highway 18, and I haven't been able to find anything. I've been running the cameras there most of the morning. It's been very heavy past Main Street, but by the time you're up to 15th Northwest, it clears up. We also have some very heavy slowing in eastbound direction of 18 coming down the hill across the Valley Freeway, so there's some volume and a little bit of sun glare. But overall, we're looking at about a 50-minute trip, maybe a little bit more from Puyallup up to Renton. And don't worry, you'll get out of this right about Emerald Downs as you make your way north. The I-5 corridor is pretty heavy through Federal Way, a little bit more at the north end. Overall, about an hour and 10-minute trip now from Federal Way to Seattle. Renton to Bellevue's over 40 minutes. The S-curves where they should be, and then now definitely seeing some merging slowing right there at I-90. Speaking of 90, no problems in the westbound direction of either one of the lake bridges, even 90 or 520. Coming down from the north end, still slow past 112th in the South Everett area. Crash over there on the left-hand side right as you get to the park and ride. So plan on some delays there. Then you have the normal stuff away from Linwood, and we've got about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Looking at the drive on eastbound 512, it's pretty heavy as well. And I'm still looking for a crash on northbound Highway 7, just north of the Roy Y. Backups on 507 and on Highway 7 itself. This report brought to you by FlySeaportAir.com. Seaport Airlines offering high-frequency shuttle service between Boeing Field and Portland. Use the code FALL2025, save 20%. Book now, FlySeaportAir.com.
It's going to be hot today. It's just a one-day deal. 87 for today in Seattle. Warmer in the South Sound and toward the foothills. High fire danger today. It's going to be a little bit windy. And tomorrow will cool off to 76. So lots of sunshine, partly cloudy on Thursday and down to 71. It's 58 in Seattle right now.
Coming up, the day's top stories, and then at 7:35 in the commentary, what is the big driver behind the increase in gas prices in Washington State and why over the next couple of months it could continue to go up? That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
If your closets are bursting at the seams like the Curley household, it's time to call the pros at Closets by Design Seattle. Every job is completely custom. Free in-home design consultation. Right now, they're offering big savings up to 40% off, plus an additional 15% off with 18 months financing and free installation. You're getting the quality and backing of a national brand, but with friendly local Seattle service. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule your free in-home design consultation today.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
When the heat's an 11, cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Get end-of-season savings of 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump while supplies last at Day and Night.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Save 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump, plus no payments or interest for a year OAC. Call for details.
Dayandnight.net.
Has it been hot in your house this summer? Maybe worried about the cold coming in this fall and into the winter? Might be because your insulation's just not up to snuff. That was my problem. Mike Salk here, and that's why I called Crawl Pros. They came out, they did a corner-to-corner inspection of my crawl space and attic, and they fixed that problem once and for all. If your home has any damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, you're bleeding money every month to heat and cool your home, but you don't have to. And even better, if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%, but you got to act now. Many of these rebates are ending at the end of this year, including the federal incentives. Let Crawl Pros come out and properly insulate your home before the cooler fall weather comes in. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
When I needed some work done on my roof, there was only one company to call, Valentine Roofing. Hey, it's Jake Skorheim, and when I needed my roof fixed, Valentine Roofing went the extra mile to get there fast. They got my roof looking like new again. The scheduling was seamless and easy. Even though I couldn't be there, they still got the job done and sent me all the details with a link to pictures and video from the service. And let me tell you, if your roof or gutters are not fall ready, if those asphalt shingles are cracking and breaking down from years of moss, which is what happened on my roof, if your gutters are sagging, clogged, or pulling away, you should do what I did and call Valentine Roofing. Don't trust your home to anyone else. Those leaves, needles, and branches will fall, and the rain will come. But fortunately, Valentine makes knocking out that fall checklist stress-free. They'll even insulate your attic and clean the exterior of your home. And with zero-down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. This fall, give your home the Valentine it deserves. Check them out online at valentineroof.com or call 206-ROOFING and get your free estimate today. That's 206-ROOFING.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at proscope.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's proscope.com.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. I'm here with good news. Guardian has flexible financing options. With Guardian's acclaimed services, you can upgrade or repair your roof, gutters, and insulation. Call to hear about our flexible financing options or visit guardianroofing.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 7:31. Well, Western Washington is heating up, and so is the fire risk.
Nick Allard on KIRO 7 says we'll see highs in the 80s today with gusty winds and dry air.
And it will be hot. So we have increasing smoke and haze. We have breezy weather, especially breezy to windy in the Cascade foothills. The rest of us will feel more like, why don't we say 10 to 20 out of the east-southeast as the day goes on, and it'll be 85. Not a record. The record in Seattle is 91, but boy, that is still warm for this time of year.
Red flag warning posted for the Cascades and South Sound. Firefighters say strong winds could cause more damage than usual because trees still have all their leaves. 2 recent brush fires in Seattle are a clear warning. One damaged homes on Beacon Hill and sent 2 people to the hospital over the weekend. Crews say the risk remains high until cooler weather arrives tomorrow.
A tragic end to a hike in the Enchantments. Chelan County deputies say Andrew Wong, a 37-year-old from Long Island, New York, died near Dragon Tail Peak. He was supposed to return September 7th, but never did. Search crews found his car at the trailhead and launched a full rescue effort. A helicopter from Snohomish County joined the search. According to the Seattle Times, they eventually found Wong's body in steep terrain. The sheriff's office says it looks like he fell.
The Senate's Help Committee will hear testimony tomorrow from Dr. Susan Menares, recently fired by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He also replaced the entire CDC vaccine panel earlier this year. Washington Democratic Senator Patty Murray is on the committee.
We need answers to all the questions about what exactly RFK Jr. is doing to interfere with the science at our top health agencies.
Kennedy defends the shakeup, saying people who got fired weren't doing their jobs.
The CDC is an agency that is very troubled for a very long time, and anybody who lived through the COVID pandemic and saw all of these bizarre recommendations that were not science-based.
Tomorrow's hearing gets underway at 7 a.m. Seattle time.
And a major legal fight is brewing over Washington's new digital ad tax. Comcast says the law is illegal and filed suit to stop it. The Washington State Standard reports the company claims it violates federal rules by taxing internet ads, but not traditional ones. Streaming services would pay, but TV and newspapers wouldn't. The tax is part of a larger plan to balance the state budget. If it's struck down, lawmakers may need to find hundreds of millions of dollars elsewhere.
7:33 now. Chris Sullivan has traffic on the 3s for us.
And we've added about 10 minutes to just about all of our drives just in the last little bit. That's just some volume. We've had some earlier small little fender benders here and there, but coming down out of the north end, you're going to need about an hour and 10 minutes, maybe more, from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Not only do we have the brake lights right there at the Boeing Freeway 526 because of a crash that's still over on the left shoulder near 112, but we have really heavy brake lights away from Linwood on both 5 and 405. And do for Annette, who's almost about ready to leave town and get on with retirement. $15 in the southbound express toll lanes out of the Linwood area. Going the other direction, Federal Way to Seattle, really slow in the normal places. Hour and 10-minute trip now from Federal Way to Seattle. 40 of those minutes are from the South Center area into downtown. Also, brake lights in and out of the Puyallup River area on northbound I-5 through Tacoma. That appears to be just some sun glare and some volume. Same deal with 16 in the eastbound direction as you work your way through to Tacoma out of UP. Looking at eastbound 512 being really heavy now, well before South Hill and then down the hill. And then Puyallup to Renton is running right at about 55 minutes. Our good friend Jeanette letting me know that there isn't anything there but just some volume on northbound I-167 as you make your way past Main Street and Highway 18. And then Renton to Bellevue is getting closer to 50 minutes, really starting to bog down. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast today, it's going to be hot. 87 in Seattle, warmer in the South Sound and in the foothills. A little bit windy, too, so the fire danger is high. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. Will cool way down to about 76, and then by Thursday, 71 as some clouds roll in. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 58.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
7:35 now, and time for this morning's commentary. We were just talking about this on August 26. Back then, I told you Washington drivers had already paid about $4 billion more for gas under the Climate Commitment Act, nearly $700 per driver. And now, here we are again. Things are getting even more expensive. Gas in Washington state now averages $4.66 a gallon. The national average this morning is $3.19. Washington is now number one. We have passed California for the highest gas prices in the country. Why? Sure, there are refinery challenges, but you should also keep in mind the state just held another carbon auction, happened earlier this month, and just like that, gas prices jumped. Up already a quarter of a gallon since the auction, with expectations of it going up a total of 50 cents or more when all of this gets priced in. Oil companies bid, they pay the state, and they pass the cost right along. So while Olympia gets the cash, you get the bill at the pump. Because, of course, the oil companies are not just going to say, we will eat the cost from the carbon auction. No, they'll hand it to you with a smile. Same playbook with tariffs. Politicians say companies will pay, but somehow Christmas gift receipts this year will tell a different story, but that's for another commentary. When it comes to gas prices, you are covering the cost of that auction, and it lands hardest on the people who can least afford it. The nurse driving from Federal Way to Swedish Hospital, the contractor hauling retaining wall bricks from Monroe, the single mom in Tacoma working 2 jobs in a 15-year-old Camry. They can't just buy a Tesla or lease an EV. For them, this is not abstract. It is $15 or $20 extra every single week. And $20 might not sound like much in Olympia, but at minimum wage, that's more than an hour of pay. For someone living paycheck to paycheck, that's a bag of groceries. It's diapers and wipes. Defenders of the program call it a market-based system that finally makes polluters pay the true cost. They point to where the money goes: free transit for kids, electric school buses, charging stations, clean energy. And yeah, those are worthy projects. But the larger reality has not changed since the last time we talked about the carbon auction. Washington accounts for less than 0.2% of global emissions. We could park every car in the state tomorrow and the planet would not notice. Meanwhile, China is still firing up new coal plants. Each one wipes out in weeks what we spend billions trying to save in a year. That's why experts keep saying climate change cannot be solved by one medium-sized state. It has to be national. It has to be international. Otherwise, Washington families are paying billions for what feels like symbolic progress. And get ready. The next carbon auction is next month. Then we have another in November, which means, like clockwork, we'll have another bump in gas prices right after those happen. We were promised pennies and cleaner air. Instead, we got the highest gas prices in America, and working families are left with the receipt. That's today's commentary for Tuesday, September 16th. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can text us at 888-973-5476. Jump in the chat at YouTube Live. Go to @KIRO Newsradio, and you can always leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:39. Chris Sullivan, what's coming up in traffic?
We're going to take a look at the northbound I-5 drive as you make your way past Boeing Field. We'll break it down for you next.
Now that's how you do it.
He's going left side. He's got some blocking. He turns upfield. He's down inside the 5. Touchdown! Seahawks!
We're all in a good mood this morning because of all the great sports action yesterday.
An impressive road victory in Pittsburgh earns the Hawks their first win on the season.
I mean, taking care of business. What'd you say?
Yesterday's game gave me more hope in what we can do as a team. I love this.
The 12s hear the Hawks right here on KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident Book Series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. Celebrate with payments as low as $125 a month. A beautiful bath installed in one day, no mess, and a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com today.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt ductless heat pump system from Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every Quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. Is your siding ready for the wet season? Call 866-ROOF-ROOF for James Hardy Siding. State roofing and exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
7:43 now. Let's head over to the traffic desk with Sully.
Hey, we continue to add travel time to our travel times across the board. We've picked up about 5 more minutes just about everywhere now. If you're looking at South Center into downtown, that's up to 45 minutes with an hour and 15 all the way from Federal Way. 509-99 also starting to bog down. The West Seattle Bridge, the eastbound direction, is bumper to bumper all the way back to the Triangle. So plan on big time delays if that's your corridor today. We're up over 35 minutes now from Auburn to Renton, and that puts us squarely at an hour from Puyallup up into Renton, and Renton to Bellevue is about 45 minutes. Across the lake, it looks like we might have a crash just before the lake on westbound I-90 right on the west tip of Mercer Island, right by West Mercer Way, so I'm checking into that, but that's kind of gone all red. Plan on 25 minutes minimum from Bellevue to Seattle on I-90, 20 on 520. Coming down from the north end, we still have the brake lights right by the Everett Mall, continuing past the brake lights and the crash that we have over on the left-hand shoulder right at 112th. Then away from Linwood, it's not pretty. Hour and 15 to hour and 20-minute trips now to make it from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Definitely bursting at the seams. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, a hot day. It's just for one day, then we'll cool off tomorrow. But today, 87 in Seattle, warmer in the south end and toward the foothills. It's going to be windy, too, so we do have high fire danger to deal with. Again, 87 in Seattle. Tomorrow, only 76. Staying mostly sunny. We'll see a few clouds roll in on Thursday. That'll keep us even cooler, about 71. Right now, a few clouds in Seattle. It's 58.
Katrina, it's too soon for this.
Uh-oh.
Too soon.
Now what are you doing,
Never
Katrina?
too soon.
Okay, here we go. A pop icon plans to turn up the holiday heat.
Come on.
Katrina.
Okay, well, it is officially 100 days
until Christmas.
How is that possible?
So Mariah Carey, the queen of the holiday, announced she is taking her Christmas spirit to the Las Vegas Strip for a residency.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Come on.
Just a little sampling. No, not feeling it.
Okay, that's enough.
Katrina.
It's set to run from November 28th through December 13th, so she is giving people time to get through Thanksgiving first.
Okay.
It will be held at Park MGM. I want to go.
100 days until Christmas.
This year has just flown.
Wow. All right. Thank you, I think.
We'll give you a pass this time.
Okay, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
And coming up on Seattle's Morning News, Sully, you have a choke point?
Yeah, we're going to take a look at some big-time trouble coming to eastbound 90 over the next couple of weeks.
Summer is fast approaching, and it's a great time to get ready for the busy season with help from WaFd Bank.
Remember, Dave, you can get ahead of the game with WaFd Bank and implement services like payment processing so customers can buy through kiosk, mobile, online, contactless, whatever option they want to pay.
And Brad, I've heard that WaFd Bank has the equipment to make tracking transactions and getting paid easier than ever, right?
Right. With industry-leading security and personalized help from dedicated IT support, you can get peace of mind and get back to helping customers. You can also find a variety of business accounts at WaFd to fit your specific needs and a suite of other services to take things to the next level. We have the knowledge, experience, and offerings to make your business goals a reality.
Thanks, Brad. And you can learn more by visiting wafdbank.com or just drop in at your local branch. I think you'll discover why they've been awarded Best Bank by multiple companies many years in a row. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
When the heat's in 11, cool AC would be heaven. Dayandnight.net. Get end-of-season savings of 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump while supplies last at Day and Night.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Save 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump, plus no payments or interest for a year OAC. Call for details.
Dayandnight.net.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
We were all checking to make sure it wasn't the commercial, right?
No.
Yeah.
This time it's Sully's song.
For reals this time.
For reals. You know, I'm sure the listeners throughout the day are like, oh, it's time for Choke Points.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm sitting at home. I'm like, what?
Am I supposed to be on? Well, okay. Getting from Bellevue to Seattle on 990 is not going to be easy for the next 3 weeks.
No, Sully. Expansion joint repair before 405 is going to cause some big delays. This will not be fun.
No, it will not be. Based on our previous experience going through this same thing. It's taken 20 months now, but the state is finally going to replace that expansion joint on eastbound I-90 right at the East Channel Bridge, just right on the eastern tip of Mercer Island there at I-90. It failed in January of last year, and for several weeks, eastbound I-90 was reduced to just 3 lanes. Then the freeway was eventually restriped with 4 smaller lanes, reduced speed limit, and it's been that way ever since. Well, the Washington Department of Transportation begins repairs Thursday night, and eastbound I-90 will be reduced to just 3 lanes between Island Crest Way and Bellevue Way for at least 16 straight days, expected to cause huge backups on eastbound 90. Here's WashDOT's James Poling.
We did
see significant backups when it was down to 3 lanes in January and February 2024. And with the upcoming project, we are going to have a similar lane configuration on eastbound I-90, so we are anticipating backups in that regard.
The morning commutes experienced 15 to 20-minute delays on eastbound I-90 in this configuration last year. The afternoon commute was even worse. Even during the off-peak times, it was very slow getting across Mercer Island, making the impact even a little more severe for Mercer Island residents this time. You're only going to have one entry point to eastbound I-90 off the entire island for about the first week of construction.
The East Mercer Way on-ramp to eastbound I-90 will be closed the first 6 to 8 days of the project, in part because the expansion joint goes over the lane for the on-ramp.
That means you'll only be able to access eastbound I-90 from Island Crest Way during that time. Even the eastbound HOV ramp from 80th will also be closed.
We looked at every scenario possible to keep that open. There is not a safe way to install that expansion joint without closing the ramp.
Now, eastbound drivers should plan on those lengthy delays, as we talked about. And one thing that's very important in this, and polling has this reminder, and I will back it up, is that don't trust your GPS on this, and don't think of cutting across the island, because it's just not going to work.
Cutting through City of Mercer Island to avoid I-90 congestion is not a viable option and only causes further issues, and it is not a faster way.
So if you get off at West Mercer Way and then try to figure, I'll work my way around. Well, during that first 6 to 8 days, you're going to have to turn right back around anyway and get on at Island Crest Way. It's not a good thing to do. You just need to plan well ahead. Now, the other question a lot of people have asked me, and people have been asking me about this for the last year and a half. Why is it taking so long? I mean, it's just an expansion joint. Get out there. And I asked polling about that timeline.
The ordering, the assembly, the shipping, everything that comes with the part. So 2024 was never an option because it takes 6 months minimum to assemble the expansion joint.
So that 6-month time frame last year of them to do this would have put them past what is the traditional construction season, because for expansion joint work like this and concrete work, you actually do need the better weather, and you need to do that earlier in the year. But they ran up against 2025, the weather there, and then they were going to do it over the summer in July or August, but then that ran into the Revive I-5 project across the Ship Canal Bridge. They didn't want to do those projects at the same time, so now we've moved it to now. Of course, we've got Mariners and Seahawks games during this 16-day window. We also have the Bananas in town this weekend. For people who aren't familiar, that's going to fill T-Mobile Park with a bunch of raving baseball fans. Going to enjoy that. So that's just going to add congestion to the mix. Now, again, this is eastbound I-90 only. Westbound not impacted by this, but we are going to feel some pretty good pain over the next couple of weeks as they finish this and replace that expansion joint.
I'm still looking forward to the Bananas game. Savannah Bananas both Friday and Saturday night. Somehow I got in on the lottery to do that, but it's not going to be fun for people who are leaving the game and headed to the east side.
Yeah, that's going to be a very big problem this weekend. So,
boy, that's going to be fun, though.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous.
While you're sitting there enjoying the Bananas, you can think of your drive home the whole time.
Yeah.
I'd ruin the experience.
I am the person who does obsess about that, so you're absolutely right. Okay, Sully, that is what's happening coming up the next few days, but what is coming up right now in traffic?
Well, we're actually going to look at the very same spot right there on Mercer Island. This time in the westbound direction. We've got a crash under the Mercer Island lid there between Island Crest Way and West Mercer Way. So as you're trying to make your way across the island and getting down to the water, we've got a crash there in the left general purpose lane. Not the HOV lane, but the left general purpose lane. One of our texters said the person tried to cut over at the last minute out of that HOV lane and got rear-ended. Either way, we're dealing with about a 35-minute trip now from Bellevue to Seattle. You compare that to the 20 minutes you have on 520, and you can see the difference there. Rest of the map, it's not pretty, but it's average for a Tuesday morning. We're seeing the heavy brake lights really in the usual places. Hour and 20-minute trip now from Federal Way to Seattle, with close to 48 of those minutes from South Center. You're bumper to bumper from Boeing Field all the way up. 509, 99 also really caught up in this as well. Rented to Bellevue, struggling through those S-curves and at I-90. You've got a 50-minute trip there. Behind that, 50 minutes to an hour up the Valley Freeway from Puyallup to Renton. There's slower slowing on northbound 5 into Tacoma, eastbound 16 into Tacoma as well. Coming down from the north end, still working with this crash on the left-hand shoulder right at I-5 and 112th in South Everett. Then away from Linwood is ugly. Hour and 20-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Sunny and hot today. 87 our expected high. A little bit breezy too. Fire danger is high, and then things will cool off tomorrow. Will be mostly sunny, but highs back down to the mid-70s. Right now in Seattle, starting to see some sunshine. It's 59.
Coming up, we'll speak to consumer man Herb Weisbaum on a major setback for Americans struggling with medical debt. That comes up on Seattle's Morning News here on KIRO News Radio.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO News Radio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, it's Lori from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation with exciting news. We now offer K-Guard Gutter System. Say goodbye to clogged gutters and hello to less maintenance. These top-of-the-line guards are exclusively available only at Guardian. K-Guard is designed to keep debris out, and their durability means they look great year-round without rusting or warping. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect your home with Guardian. To learn more about Guardian's exclusive K-Guard Gutter System, call today or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare is coming up. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the consumer man here. Get organized early with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly from IRG, and this Wednesday, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk all about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join the free live stem cell webinar Wednesday night at 6 to learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults, focused on the future. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. we can help.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Hollywood mourns Robert Redford, a leading man for the ages.
Are you really so sure of everything you're so sure of?
Sure. Aren't you?
No. Not as sure.
Redford, who starred with Barbra Streisand in The Way We Were, died at his Utah home. Jane Fonda says he was a beautiful person in every way. Pop culture expert Robert Thompson.
I suppose he dominated the 1970s as an actor. Starting out in 1969, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, one of Hollywood's great masterpieces.
Redford also was an Oscar-winning director and force behind the Sundance Film Festival and an environmental activist. He was 89. Legal action today in New York for the man charged in last year's killing of the United Healthcare CEO.
The judge dropped 2 state terrorism charges against Luigi Mangione, including one that accused him of first-degree murder. He says the evidence behind the charges was legally insufficient, but Mangione is still charged with second-degree murder in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Prosecutors say the terrorism charges were warranted and have called the act a frightening, targeted murder. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Overseas, Israel steps up its military campaign in Gaza City. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb.
Israel's military has started what it's called the main step of its ground invasion of Gaza City, where entire neighborhoods have already been reduced to ruins, and hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have been forced to flee. It comes as Israeli leaders have reacted angrily to the UN Commission of Inquiry's genocide report, denouncing it as, quote, distorted and false.
President Trump is on his way to the UK for a state visit. FBI Director Kash Patel is on Capitol Hill deflecting questions from Democrats about the Epstein files.
This administration, at the direction of President Trump, has done more to turn over all the credible information we are legally able to do so, and we will continue to work with Congress to achieve that end.
New government numbers show a rise in retail sales as shoppers increased spending at a better-than-expected pace in August, helped by back-to-school sales. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Overall, this report shows that although people are not feeling good about the economy, they are not acting that way. They continue to spend money. It does put into question whether or not the Federal Reserve should consider an even larger rate cut when they meet today and tomorrow.
And checking Wall Street's, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 187 points. NASDAQ is down 20. The S&P down 12. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
It's 8:03. Let's head over to Sully with traffic on the threes.
An hour and 20 minutes. That's a very popular number right now, and that's for 3 of our primary commuting routes. Hour and 20. From Federal Way to Seattle. It is crawling up past 272nd, a little bit more past Kent Des Moines Road, and then a nice long gap until you hit Boeing Field, and right there at the beginning. And it's 50 minutes from South Center, maybe just a little under. So just not a pretty drive those last couple of miles. So that's behind schedule by about 10. 509 is really backing up out of Burien as well, going northbound. 99's no picnic either. Hour and 20 is what we have from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Definitely seen things improve a little bit past 112th and South Everett, where we've had this crash over on the left shoulder. But boy, away from Linwood, it is not pretty. And then we also have slowing across the U District, across the Ship Canal Bridge. So yeah, not good days for you guys. Renton to Bellevue, about 50 minutes, and behind that, an hour from Puyallup to Renton. That corridor behind schedule by about 10 or 12 minutes as well. Lake Bridges, the crash we had in the Mercer Island Lid, now over on the right-hand shoulder on westbound 90. Still have about 30 minutes to get you from Bellevue to Seattle on I-90, 25 minutes on 520. So yeah, we're stacked. This report brought to you by FlySeaportAir.com. Seaport Airlines offering high-frequency shuttle service between Boeing Field and Portland. Use fall 2025 as a code. You'll save 20%. Book now, FlySeaportAir.com.
8:04 on the Tuesday, September 16th, 2025 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
It is going to be hot today, mid to upper 80s across western Washington, and that heat comes with a warning.
Nick Allard from KIRO 7 says fire danger is high, especially in the mountains and the South Sound. We have a red flag warning in effect with gusty winds, which could make things worse.
A wind advisory for the Cascade foothills, and I started to think about this. All the trees still have leaves on it, and with gusts anywhere from 35 to 45, maybe even 50 for a few places, especially kind of mid to late morning through the afternoon, it's going to be strong.
Strong winds and dry air means trees still full of leaves could take a beating. We had 2 brush fires in Seattle showing how fast flames can spread. Sunday's fire on Beacon Hill damaged 4 homes, sent 2 people to the hospital. Crews had to evacuate more than 10 people before getting it under control. Investigators say it was likely caused by sparks or a tossed cigarette. We do have cooler weather arriving tomorrow, but today's risk, they say, is real.
A 29-year-old man has been arrested in connection with last Monday's double homicide in Burien. King County prosecutors have charged Marvin Ortiz Montesinos with 2 counts of first-degree murder. They say he stabbed his girlfriend to death because she had broken up with him. They say he also stabbed her roommate for trying to stop him. Douglas Wagoner in the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says the bail's been set at $10 million.
You know, it's relatively rare that you'll see bails in the millions of dollars, let alone 10 million. And that reflects the seriousness of this case. It reflects the threat of safety to the public, as well as the potential flight risk of this defendant.
He has family in Guatemala. He's due in court tomorrow morning.
The Linden School District wants to honor conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was murdered last week. On Reddit, they have posted a resolution from the school district where the school board has created Charlie Kirk Day. It'll be observed the Monday before September 10th each year. They say it's a way to stand against political violence and promote respectful dialogue. The resolution also backs student debate clubs, calling them vital for teaching civil discourse and critical thinking. Board members say students should lead the observance where possible. KIRO Newsradio has reached out to the board.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
That actually makes me tear up a little bit.
Yeah, chills.
Yeah.
Robert Redford died this morning at age 89, so we've been playing music from his films, and of course,
so many good ones.
The Natural there.
Yeah.
What a great scene. The lights exploding as he hits that.
So good.
Such a good movie.
Again, chills.
Just a great actor, and what a great career for Robert Redford.
Welcome back, by the way.
It's good to be back. It was nice kind of maybe sleeping in a little yesterday.
I bet.
And we went to the concert on Sunday night.
For me, the draw would have been Modest Mouse. What band got you there?
Modest Mouse. This is like my 3rd or 4th time seeing them since the mid-'90s. They still have it, but the Flaming Lips were there. And Slater Kinney out of Olympia, just a great all female punk band. They are so good as well. So it was great going out there. And a lot of us Gen Xers were there.
I was just going to say.
Who are all these old people? And then I'm realizing I'm older than them.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, it's great to have you back. Chris Sullivan is here checking the roads for us every 10 minutes. Producer David Burbank is here thinking good thoughts for the Mariners. Keep that winning streak alive.
Yeah. We have some good chances. We'll talk about that in a moment of making the playoffs. This is Seattle's Morning News, and the guy who's accused of burglarizing the homes of Seattle area celebrities has pleaded not guilty to 10 felony crimes.
Prosecutors say 29-year-old Patrick Maisonette broke into the homes of stars like Macklemore, Ichiro Suzuki, and Mariners pitcher Luis Castillo, even pepper spraying people inside. Seattle native and L.A. Dodgers pitcher Blake Snell lost 2 Rolex watches. Former Seahawk Richard Sherman had one stolen too. Masonette was arrested last month and is being held on more than $2 million bail. Investigators say surveillance and cell phone data helped crack the case, with some stolen items recovered from a South Seattle jewelry store. Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
There was a little bit of shaking near Port Townsend last night, as we hear from KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
The tremor very close to the coast, a 2.9 magnitude quake just about a half dozen miles from Port Townsend. No wave warnings or any other issues, just some light shaking reported.
Two women who frequent the area near Aurora Avenue North and North 128th Street flagged down an SPD officer yesterday morning. They reported being accosted by two men wearing clown masks. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
We don't know what their intentions were. The victims felt those two suspects were trying to abduct them.
Police pulled over the suspect vehicle. They found the masks. There were guns and extended magazines inside. There was a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old who were arrested on suspicion of felony harassment.
We are learning new details about the death of a hiker in the Enchantments. And here's KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
The Chelan County Sheriff's Office received the missing person report a week ago. The 37-year-old Andrew Wong from Long Island was supposed to go home a couple of days earlier, but never arrived. His last known location was the Dragon Tail Peak area of the Enchantments. Deputies found his car near a trail. The Chelan County Mountain Rescue Team was called into search, and they found Wong's body a short time later. Crews believe he fell to his death.
Washington's top education official wants to bring artificial intelligence into classrooms. TVW reports Superintendent Chris Rakedahl is asking lawmakers for $10 million. The money would fund a statewide pilot program for AI tutoring tools, starting with math, would also pay for teacher training. Rakedahl says AI is already part of daily life and learning, so he says he wants the state to act boldly and not leave districts to figure it out alone.
A high school football game between Lakes and Bonnie Lake was cut short Friday night. Officials called it off at halftime after tensions between the teams started to boil over. Lakes coach Dave Miller told the News Tribune he felt the refs missed key calls early on, and he says that made things worse on the field. He didn't share more. Bonnie Lake's coach has not commented. Now there's an investigation into what led to that decision.
Okay, I will be the one reading this. So if I have committed the jinx, the pitchforks, the torches outside the building.
It's all your fault, Charlie.
Should just be Charlie Harger. Manda Factor is innocent. Producer David.
I don't agree with any of this.
Yes. I mean, your fingers are crossed, though. That is true.
Yes.
The Mariners are in first place, and playoff odds are looking strong. Fangraphs now give Seattle a 96% chance to make the postseason.
I'm so excited.
Now, the team leads Houston by a half game. There are 12 left to play. KIRO 7 TV reports their odds of winning the division, the AL West, 68% odds. And yes, there's even an 11% chance the Mariners win the World Series.
Now there you jinxed it.
I'm just reporting the facts. Seattle starts their road trip today in Kansas City. Then they head to Houston. Today's game starts at 4:40 on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
Hopefully it won't be 12 days of heart attacks.
Of course it will be.
Games.
Are predictions facts?
No, not
well,
really.
kind of like my feelings. I have a feeling they'll do it.
Okay,
It's
we'll
8:12.
see. Go Mariners.
Let's take a look at the weather now. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Hot and windy today. 85 the forecast high for Seattle. Could be touching 90 in the foothills, and it's going to be very windy and dry in the foothills and in the South Sound. There's a red flag warning. We expect to cool down tomorrow to 75 for Seattle, low 70s for Thursday. Got to get through this first, though. Right now in Seattle, it's sunny and 55.
And it's 8:13. Time for traffic every 10 minutes on the threes. Here's Sully.
And we've added a new problem on a corridor that's already having a rough day, and that's on southbound 405 in Totem Lake. We've now got a stall blocking the right-hand lane right there at 124th, so we're backing up pretty quickly. Haven't quite merged with the slowing up by 160th, but if this sticks around, that's the formula we're looking at. It's an hour and 20 plus from Everett into Bellevue, with at least an hour just from Linwood. Not pretty at all. Kind of the same deal for I-5, hour and 20 20, hour and 20 plus from Everett to Seattle, bumper to bumper through Linwood, a little bit of a break through Shoreline, and then again across the U District into the Ship Canal Bridge. So not pleasant out of Snohomish County. Northbound I-5 isn't much better. Hour and 20 from Federal Way to Seattle. 50 of those minutes are from South Center. So as you're going nice and easy through Tukwila, you go through past the Duwamish Curve, you're going to hit the brakes hard right there at the Boeing Access Road, and you're on them all the way in. Renton to Bellevue, 50 minutes. Behind that, the Valley Freeway's trying to thin out. It's back under an hour, but not by much. The Lake Bridges back down to about 25 minutes on either one westbound to go from Bellevue to Seattle. We had an earlier crash in the Mercer Island lid, which has cleared over to the right shoulder. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
8:14 now. An iconic 80s movie moment almost didn't happen. Katrina Gashard is here to explain.
Okay, so Say Anything. Anyone heard of it? Well, the actor Cameron Crowe just spilled the behind-the-scenes secret about the legendary boombox scene.
All my instincts, they return.
Yes, hold that boombox, Charlie. So in a recent interview with the New York Times, Crowe said actor John Cusack apparently did not even like the idea of his character holding a stereo over his head. So Crowe and the cinematographer pulled a fast one, filming a fake version with no film in the camera, then convinced Cusack to take one more try filming it. So that frustrated energy became the perfect emotion for the scene, and it made movie history.
That scene is the movie.
Yeah, well, okay. Maybe John Cusack didn't realize this, but Lloyd Dobler is kind of a wimp. I know he's taking kickboxing classes, so, I mean, it's perfectly in line. But just holding the boombox, and that movie filmed in Seattle?
How many times has that been recreated, that moment, right?
For
Such
sure.
a romantic moment.
It's iconic.
Is
He
it,
thought it
though?
was too wimpy.
Yes.
Is it?
Super sweet.
Girl had dumped him, and he's like outside her house, and he's like
A
playing.
lot of those romantic things from 80s movies is like,
It was redone in Modern Family. It
What
was
are you
still a
saying,
success.
Sully?
He's lame.
Oh, come on.
Oh, get out of here, Sully.
Lame.
It's a classic.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying the movie's lame. I'm saying that's a lame thing for a dude to do when you
Lloyd
lose your
Dobler.
lady.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Katrina. It's 8:16.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
Well, there's a major setback for Americans struggling with financial debt. Earlier this summer, a federal judge in Texas struck down a new rule from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It was adopted under the Biden administration, and it aimed to boost credit scores by removing certain medical bills and other things from credit reports.
So, now what? Let's bring in consumer man Herb Weisbaum. He joins us every Friday morning. He is with checkbook.org. So what would this rule have done, Herb?
Well, it would have done a lot of things, Manda. It would have removed about $49 billion in medical debt from the credit reports of about 15 million Americans, and more importantly, prohibited lenders from considering medical information when making future lending decisions. The credit report industry from the start wanted to kill this bill. They filed a lawsuit against it and argued that it was inaccurate and incomplete information they would receive, so they couldn't make bona fide decisions on whether to give someone credit. And in a very unusual move, the Trump administration actually filed a brief on the side of the plaintiffs. They told the judge they wanted the government's own rule killed. I haven't remembered ever seeing something like this. This summer, a judge in Texas, actually killed the rule and said the CFPB did not have the power to put this rule in place. Consumer groups are obviously very, very upset. Here's a quote from Mike Litt at the group US PIRG. He said the rule would have provided immediate relief to people unfairly harmed simply because they got sick. The Consumer Data Industry Association, the industry group, said that they thought this was the right thing to do and it will make their decisions more accurate. However, I got to point out that an analysis by the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, when they were putting this rule together, said that medical debt does not accurately predict a person's future risk of borrowing money, their credit risk, and harms potential buyers by making underwriting decisions less accurate. You know, no one plans to need a kidney removed. No one plans to have a cancer treatment. Nobody plans to have a car accident or an accident at work. It's not like running up a credit card bill. It's not the same kind of debt. But that's where we are right now. It's going to be considered that kind of thing.
A careful reader of your checkbook story will note that this does not conflict with a Washington state law. Can you get into that?
Yes, that's correct. Some states have passed their own laws regarding medical debt, and that's happening with a number of consumer issues now as the federal government starts to back away from these consumer protections. The law took effect in July here in Washington state. It prohibits hospitals, physician groups, and debt collectors from reporting any medical debt to credit reporting agencies. And here's the enforcement mechanism, and it's pretty powerful. If medical debt is reported, it becomes void and unenforceable. Void and unenforceable, and it covers just about everything except for cosmetic surgery that is not for reconstructive surgery after an illness or injury.
Medical debt is becoming a serious problem in this country. Is it getting worse? And do you have any hard numbers?
Yeah, here are the numbers I found. About 100 million Americans, that includes 41% of all adults who are struggling to deal with medical debt. That's according to a 2022 survey that was done by NPR and the Kaiser Family Foundation. A quarter of all adults with healthcare debt owe more than $5,000, the survey found. And about 1 in 5, regardless of the amount of debt, said they didn't ever expect to be able to pay it off. And adding to the problems are that medical bills are sometimes in error, or you have to wait to dispute it with the insurance company for months and months or a year or more. That's dragging down your credit score when it's on your when it's on your credit file. And that's the problem with this thing. There are mistakes and there are situations where you're really not paying off the debt because maybe the provider said, wait till we argue with the insurance company, don't pay it off.
Herb, I think this might speak to the necessity that you need to be looking at your credit report at least every so often. So if you see a medical debt issue in that credit report, what are the next steps we should be taking?
Well, first of all, if you have a medical debt issue from a hospital or provider, the first thing is to get an itemized bill and make sure it's correct and that you're being charged accurately. There are, as I said, a lot of mistakes being made, and bills are sometimes sent to the wrong people. If the charges are accurate, but you can't afford to pay, ask the hospital provider, whatever, is there some system you have in place that could help me? When my sister-in-law had a big medical bill a number of years ago, we went to the local hospital here and said, is there any program you have? And they said, yeah, we can set up a repayment plan over something like an 18-month period, and there's absolutely no interest. So ask the provider if there's something like that. Maybe in some hardship cases, you could get the debt forgiven. That's the key source. And then if you can't get that done, and you don't want to negotiate with a debt collector, contact the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. I refer to them all the time on your show, nfcc.org. They have counselors who can work with you to figure out the budget, figure out the debt, work with the creditors, and maybe get this taken care of. There's no shame. They don't look down on you. They are there to help you at a very reasonable nonprofit price, nfcc.org, National Foundation for Credit Counseling.
Herb, why does this always have to be so difficult? It seems like there's always a fight with the insurance company and to help cover your
medical is really, really hard, and it's getting more difficult, Amanda, because now with pre-approval, that's a whole other issue with pre-authorization, waiting weeks. Another family member needed a treatment. We had to wait 4 weeks for the insurance company to approve the treatment, and that was pretty fast from what I'm told. Sometimes it takes months. It's a really difficult area, and you see stories being done at the network level now about how frustrated the American public is with insurance companies and the payments and the medical system. It's a growing problem. We're going to continue hearing more and more about it in the years ahead.
It's just got to be hugely stressful for so many people. If they want to find out more, where do we go, Herb?
Just go to checkbook.org. You'll find my story in the consumer news section. And of course, you can always find me on my website, consumerman.com. It's all my checkbook stories. There's a little icon there to send me an email. If you have a question, just say, I heard you with Charlie and Manda, and I answer every single email that comes in because we love you guys.
Consumer Man Herb Weisbaum, thank you so much for spending some time with us every Friday morning.
Be well, guys.
And, one of the reasons I enjoy recording those segments, especially when Herb is remote.
Yes.
I'm not the person with the largest head in the video.
This is true.
Like if you were watching on YouTube, like there's this monstrous Herb head, and then just us with normal size heads.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
you can always check out the YouTube feed. Click like and subscribe and
back to reality. You still take the title in this room.
I know. Well, I take the title in most places. I can't buy hats at a store.
What size is it? You have to special order them?
8 and an 8.
I just outed you, didn't I?
It's that big brain.
That's right. That's right. My wife might disagree with that assessment.
All right. It's 8:23. Sully, take it away.
At some point, I thought he was, a Manning. At some point, Eli or Peyton, considering the amount of forehead we got going on there.
Okay, let's be honest.
But there's some thickness as
you
well.
just crossed a line.
Hey, now.
It's in a positive way. I'm just not sure what. Looking at northbound I-5, we continue to struggle from the beginnings of Boeing Field. Over 50 minutes now from South Center to downtown, with an hour and 20 all the way from Federal Way. 509 is now backed up from 128th out of Burien too, so not really pretty there. Looking at Renton to Bellevue, up over 50 minutes, and behind that, the Valley Freeway trying to get better, but it's still hovering right around 50 minutes as well. Westbound across I-90, we are really slow now from the west tip of Mercer Island all the way over 30 minutes from Bellevue to Seattle on I-90, 25 on 520, maybe even a half an hour, as we're definitely seeing a lot more action through Montlake heading over. Still working with this stall. Actually, it's just moving over to the right shoulder as I speak on southbound 405 at Totem Lake. It was closer to 120th there, and that's added to our drive. It's an hour and a half now from Everett into Bellevue. That's about 15 minutes slower than you should be. About an hour and 25 to an hour and a half as well from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Heavy through Linwood, and then really from about 85th all the way down. So it is a very struggling drive out there. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Forecast calls for hot conditions today, for this time of the year at least. 85 the forecast high in Seattle. We could be touching 90 in the foothills and in the South Sound. It's also going to be windy and dry, which means a red flag warning, high fire danger. So be very careful when you're outside today. We're expecting to have highs in the mid-70s tomorrow, and then we cool down to the low 70s on Thursday. Right now, we're warming up. It is sunny and 57 in Seattle.
And coming up, our weekly chat with New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold. He weighs in on how conservatives have rallied around the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And that's coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by WaFd Bank.
Your favorite Seahawks gear? Check. Face paint? Check. The Mike McDonald preview on KIRO News Radio? Check.
We want to win the game.
Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald joins the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, in the final interview before every Seahawks game. Friday mornings, the Mike McDonald preview, only on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of the guys' spirit.
This is where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Hey, football fans, Steve Rabel here. You know what makes Washington State truly special? It's the people, the everyday champions who serve, care, and connect. This fall, your local credit union, WSECU, is proud to celebrate 4 of these inspiring individuals as part of Washington's Community Champions. Serving Washington since 1957, WSECU is the only credit union named a Forbes Best Credit Union 5 years in a row. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your hero today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
It's O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Up to $100 in bonus rewards available at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
From the roof to the deck, the siding to the gutters, and energy-efficient windows, State Roofing and Exteriors is your one-stop shop for home protection. With over 55 years serving Western Washington, we don't just work here, we live here. We know what your home is up against when the cold sets in and the rain starts falling. Right now, we're making it easier than ever to get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Has it been hot in your house this summer? Maybe worried about the cold coming in this fall and into the winter?
might be because your insulation's just not up to snuff. That was my problem, Mike Salkier, and that's why I called Crawl Pros. They came out, they did a corner-to-corner inspection of my crawl space and attic, and they fixed that problem once and for all. If your home has any damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, you're bleeding money every month to heat and cool your home, but you don't have to. And even better, if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%, but you gotta act now. Many of these rebates are ending at the end of this year, including the federal incentives. Let Crawl Pros come out and properly insulate your home before the cooler fall weather comes in. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
When I needed some work done on my roof, there was only one company to call, Valentine Roofing. And let me tell you, if your roof or gutters are not fall ready, you need Valentine too. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. Whether it's your roof, gutters, or siding, even attic insulation to exterior cleaning, Valentine Roofing has been helping KIRO listeners for the past 15 years. And with zero down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. So do what I did. Call 206 Roofing and get your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing.
You're invited to the birthday party of a lifetime. Warner Brothers Discovery presents Bugs Bunny at the Symphony, coming to Benaroya Hall, October 10th, 11th, and 12th, in a special new 35th anniversary edition. Enjoy classic Looney Tunes on the big screen as the Seattle Symphony plays the unforgettable music scores live. Ticket info at seattlesymphony.org.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. To celebrate, Bathfitter is offering payments as low as $125 a month. Ursula Royteen here. I chose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This special offer won't last.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 8:31. Western Washington is heating up, and so is the fire risk.
Nick Allard on KIRO 7 says we'll see highs in the mid to upper 80s today with gusty winds and dry air.
And it will be hot. So we have increasing smoke and haze. We have breezy weather, especially breezy to windy in the Cascade foothills. The rest of us will feel more like, why don't we say 10 to 20 out of the east-southeast as the day goes on. And it'll be 85. Not a record. The record in Seattle is 91, but boy, that is still warm for this time of year.
A red flag warning posted for the Cascades and the South Sound. Firefighters say strong winds could cause more damage than usual. Think about this. Trees still have all of their leaves. And we had 2 recent brush fires in Seattle as a clear warning of what happens with these warm conditions. 1 damaged homes on Beacon Hill sent 2 people to the hospital. Crews say the risk remains high until cooler weather arrives tomorrow.
A tragic end in the Enchantments. Chelan County deputies say Andrew Wong, a 37-year-old from Long Island, died near Dragon Tail Peak. He was supposed to return from a climb September 7th, but never did. Search crews found his car at the trailhead and launched a full rescue effort. A helicopter from Snohomish County joined the search, and according to the Seattle Times, they eventually found Wong's body in steep terrain. The sheriff's office says it looks like he fell.
Senate's HELP Committee will hear testimony tomorrow from Dr. Susan Menares. She was recently fired by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He also replaced the entire CDC vaccine panel earlier this year. Washington Democratic Senator Patty Murray is on the committee.
We need answers to all the questions about what exactly RFK Jr. is doing to interfere with the science at our top health agencies.
Now, Kennedy defends the shakeup, saying the people who got fired weren't doing their jobs.
The CDC is an agency that is very troubled for a very long time, and anybody who lived through the COVID pandemic and saw all of these bizarre recommendations that were not science-based.
Tomorrow's hearing gets underway at 7 a.m. Seattle time.
A major legal fight is brewing over Washington's new digital ad tax. Comcast says the law is illegal and filed suit to stop it. The Washington State Standard reports the company claims it violates federal rules by taxing internet ads, but not traditional ones. Streaming services would pay, but TV and newspapers wouldn't. The tax is part of a larger plan to balance the state budget. If it's struck down, lawmakers may need to find hundreds of millions elsewhere.
Time to check traffic with Sully, and where do we start?
I'm going to start across the lake right now because we're running 15 minutes behind on westbound I-90. That drive is 35 minutes from Bellevue to Seattle, basically bumper to bumper across Mercer Island and really all the way to the Mount Baker Tunnel onto the Seattle side. So plan on delays there. We had an earlier crash on the west tip of Mercer Island that kind of set the tone. You compare that to about the 25 minutes you have on 520. You can kind of see the difference there, but the lake bridges are struggling right now. Out of the north end, hour drives from Linwood down to Seattle or Bellevue, so behind schedule by about 5 to 8 minutes there. Some braking out of the Linwood area, getting into Linwood, I should say, so we have an hour and 25 from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Southbound 99 also really backed up from about Green Lake all the way down into South Lake Union. Northbound I-5 still struggling, 50 minutes from South Center to downtown with the hour and 20-minute trip all the way from Federal Way. 509-99 also not great. Federal Puyallup to Renton running right around 50 minutes, which is an improvement, but then we have a matching 50 from Renton to Bellevue. It is not pretty. We're basically bumper to bumper the entire way up to I-90. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Sunny, hot, and windy today. Headed for a high of 86 in Seattle. It'll be warmer in the south end and in the mountains, or in the foothills, that is. Cooling off tomorrow, down to about 75 in the sunshine and 71 on Thursday as we'll see some more clouds roll in. Right now it is sunny and 60 in Seattle.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Every Tuesday, we call up New York Times investigative reporter David Fahrenthold to talk about the big stories of the week.
Well, let's start with a big one from last week. Of course, the murder of Charlie Kirk. Good morning, David. Many conservative sources citing the assassination as a galvanizing event among party members. What do you think that's going to look like in the coming years?
Well, it's a great question. There are so many young people, especially young men, who were brought to political activism, conservatism, the Republican Party by Charlie Kirk and by the organization that he founded. And now you see this guy that was sort of not just a leader, but also because of social media, somebody you felt like you knew pretty well, killed right in front of you. I mean, we all unfortunately have seen that horrible video. You know, I don't think it's easy to predict how it's going to change people's minds. If it's going to turn people, to want to carry out more of his life's work, if it's going to turn people to want to, renounce violence or embrace violence. It's so hard to know, and it sort of depends, I think, on how the people that claim his mantle, the people who were Augustus to his Caesar, the people that are going to be the ones who carry it on, look, what do they want? What do they call for? How do they try to channel it?
What does that say about us? I've just been sickened when I hear people almost justifying this or saying that somehow political violence is warranted in some cases. What does that say about where we are as Americans?
It's awful. I mean, I think about it sort of in the same way I think about the people who celebrate the guy who shot the health insurance executive last year, like he's some sort of folk hero. These people, Charlie Kirk especially, he was a political activist. He does what a zillion other people do. He was trying to build a movement to get people interested in a set of causes and ideals. And, people are mad at, hated him because he was so good at it. And a lot of people disagree with him. But that, there's nothing in American politics that says you have to kill that person or that, that you should consider violence. The way we do it is if you think he's wrong, go argue against him. Build a better movement. Get more people on your side. And it is sickening, I think, to see people celebrate. Now, there haven't been that many, but the people that have are sort of celebrating this and acting like there's no other way to deal with, to oppose what he stood for than to use violence.
David, we also speak each week with News Nation host Leland Vittert, who took some heat nationally and with some of our listeners last week when he pointed out likenesses between the assassination of Kirk and that of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Do you think there are symbolic similarities?
Well, I guess neither one of them was held elective office. Both of them were shot for what they believed in, apparently. In this case, I still feel like we don't know that much about the person that killed him. I think we know who did it, but his motivations seem so. Was he connected to a larger group? Was he part of some broader ideology? Was just somebody who was kind of disaffected and hatching this plan by himself? It's hard to, obviously King and Kirk were leaders of movements, but very different movements in very different times. it's hard to draw parallels, I think, until we really know more about the person that, committed the assassination.
All right, David, let's shift gears to some other big news this week, and that is an apparent deal between the U.S. and China to keep TikTok in operation in the States. What are you hearing, and what are the next steps here?
Well, we just step back for a second and remember that Trump was the one who led this push, and then it was picked up by a lot of Republicans and then Joe Biden to ban TikTok because it was considered a security threat, since so much of the control of the app was in China. And then Trump got elected with the support of a large number of, unexpectedly large number of youth voters who would not want TikTok to go away. And he also was backed by a guy who was a big investor in TikTok. So, I do think that, I was not surprised that there's some sort of deal reached. I think Trump's motivation to get rid of TikTok now is close to zero. And I imagine there'll be some sort of thing like we've seen in other cases where the U.S. government, has some sort of share in it or gets some sort of piece of the revenue. That's my guess, is it'll be something like these other deals where Trump negotiates some deal where the U.S. government gets a piece of it.
David, thanks for your time as always. New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the northbound I-5 drive, which is really struggling away from the South Center area. We'll break it down next.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM, powered by MyNorthwest.com.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
It's 8:43, and Sully is watching traffic for us.
And we are just enjoying one of those really heavy days. On Tuesday, typically one of our heavier days of the week. And we're actually probably running about 10 minutes slower. So there are a lot of people heading to the office today. If you're heading across the lake, we've got a 15-minute delay on westbound I-90. That drive is at 35 minutes from Bellevue to Seattle. Basically bumper to bumper across the island all the way. That we had an earlier crash, and it just kind of set us behind. 520 is a little bit faster, 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how you hit the volume. But of course, you're paying the max toll at this point. Northbound I-5 is really, really not moving very well through the middle of Boeing Field all the way up past the West Seattle Bridge and I-90. 50-plus minutes from South Center into downtown with an hour and 25 all the way from Federal Way. Northbound 167 starting to see a little bit more slowing now near to the north end, and we've actually added 5 minutes to that drive, back up to a half an hour from Auburn to Renton, and a little over 50 minutes all the way from Puyallup, and then a matching 50 from Renton to Bellevue. Just kind of one of those annoying bumper-to-bumper days all the way with just a little gap past 44th until you hit I-90. Olympia to Tacoma's, though, is back to pretty decent. There is some slowing eastbound 16. Out of the north end, hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle. Everett and 10 from Linwood to Seattle, an hour from Linwood to Bellevue. Just not a pretty day. If you're coming down from Everett all the way, it's going to be closer to an hour and a half to either one of those destinations. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast is sunny and hot for today. A little windy too. 86 are high. The fire danger is high. We'll cool off tomorrow. Mostly sunny and 75. And by Thursday, down to 71. Right now, sunshine and 60 in Seattle.
8:45 now, and an actress is sharing the sweet story behind her first rescue dog. Here's Katrina Gishard.
It all started on the set of Friends. Okay, I'm happy that someone clapped with me. Thank you, David. Jennifer Aniston stopped by the late night show with Stephen Colbert and revealed her first rescue dog named Norman came straight from the set.
So I had said to the animal trainers on the show, I said, if there's ever a dog that, you want to give up for adoption, or of a dog that is available for adoption, I'm looking. And they said, well, we do actually have a dog who we're going to retire because he's very stubborn and doesn't do what we tell him, and he never hits his mark. And so I retired him. Wow. And then he became mine. And he was only one.
All of that feedback for a 1-year-old pup.
That's adorable.
That's nice. Thank you, Katrina. 8:46 now. Coming up, we have G. Scott stopping by, taking a look at some of the new data surrounding homelessness in Washington State. This is KIRO News Radio.
Hey, it's Lori from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation with exciting news. We now offer the exclusive K-Guard gutter system. Say goodbye to clogged gutters and hello to less maintenance. Call today or visit us online at guardianroofing.com.
Take your business to the next level in 2025 with help from WaFd Bank. WaFd Bank's business accounts and cash flow tools get you paid in hours, not weeks, so you can grow your business and meet your goals. You need a best bank. Visit wafdbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Your time is money. So why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Yikey Wawa.
What?
My hot water.
Yeah?
Not so hot.
Water heater trouble?
It's not working.
We can fix that.
This week?
How about today?
Apollo Plumbing really is ready right now.
Especially when it comes to water heater replacement.
Think I need a new one?
Is it more than 10 years old?
It is.
Probably so.
Doesn't heat like it used to.
It runs out?
All the time.
That's a warning sign.
Uh-oh.
So are little leaks.
But Apollo can get me a new one?
Installed today by our clean screen trained and trusted plumbers. They're water heater experts.
But I probably got to pay a rush fee.
No extra charge.
You make this too easy.
We'll even haul off the old one.
A new water heater.
Same day. That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
This is going to get my budget in hot water.
Got you covered there too.
How?
Our available payment plans.
I don't have to wait?
Or take cold showers.
You are a lifesaver.
Call us this morning. You'll have hot water today.
That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. To celebrate, Bathfitter's offering payments as low as $125 a month. Ursula Royteen here. I chose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This special offer won't last.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Nothing stopping us now. Joining us from the G and Ursula Show, which you can hear from 9 to noon right here on KIRO Newsradio. Also host of the Reset podcast on mynorthwest.com. Good morning, G.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
I wanted to maybe talk to you about some new state data about homelessness in Washington State. You've kind of been digging into these numbers.
I have been. So right now, first of all, I don't want anybody to celebrate this as good news. And what they're doing right now is saying that the number of people sleeping outside or in emergency shelters in the state of Washington have only increased by 2.2% from January 2024 to January 2025, this according to the state. Now, the reason why it's kind of being looked at as, oh my goodness, it's kind of good news, is because this increase is smaller than the increases previous, right? Anytime, right when you say increase, that's a problem with me. It should be a problem with all of us. Now, the state of Washington, as you all know, has poured $1.8 billion into housing and homelessness. Let's be real clear about this topic. The roots are still in the ground. Rent skyrocketing, as you all know. The wage gap is so big that you can fit 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Mack trucks through there. You got mental health and addiction services are as thin as I want to be, which is, I'm trying to get real thin. That's another side note. But money alone cannot transform injustice. There has been years of injustice that has happened not just here, but all over the country. You can't wipe that away by just throwing money on it. $1.8 billion will go up in smoke like a Snoop concert. Now, let's be real. Let's start following the money. I know you guys have heard people talk about that, following the money, following those things, because at the end of the day, we cannot get out of this. We can keep throwing money at it, until we fix the broken structures. And what do I mean by broken? Here's what's broken. We have a problem with housing affordability here in this state. We have a problem with people and wages here in this state. If you don't fix those, then it's just a hole in the boat that you keep getting the bucket, you're taking the water, you're getting it out of it, but there's holes in the boat, so water will continue to get in there. I want to share this one more thing. Lately, I've been doing this project on my own because I have realized that the unhoused that are out there, our people that are unhoused, I want to learn more and get more of an understanding. And I want to share something where I learned a lesson from this lady by the name of Queen this past Saturday. I said to her, what can we do to better understand what you guys are going through out here? And she says to me, well, first, you have to understand that it isn't just us and them. It's just us. Right? She says, once you and everybody better understands that we're fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, people that love, then you will better be able to see us. And it hit me, right? Like, oh, this time I'm sitting here trying to talk to them in air quotes. Instead, it should be I'm trying to talk to us, because the people that are out here unhoused, that's us. But a lot of times, sometimes people demonize them and they say them. They are. So what I'm trying to say is two things need to be fixed. One, we need to fix the broken structures that lead people to being unhoused. And two, we need to change how we talk and see all of us that have become unhoused. Not see them, how we see us that have become unhoused.
I've been watching your videos, and I've been meaning to bring this up because I think it is so awesome what you're doing in the parks.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. Yeah. I appreciate it.
I mean, reaching out that's what you got to do, right?
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Appreciate that. See you guys.
Appreciate you, G. All right. It is time to check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
Still working with 15-minute delays getting across the lake on I-90. We have a 35-minute trip from Bellevue to Seattle as we hit the brakes basically on the eastern tip of Mercer Island going all the way into Seattle. Looking at 520, a little faster, but still about 25 minutes to 30 minutes to make that drive. So behind schedule overall. Renton to Bellevue over 50 minutes, and behind that 50 from Puyallup to Renton. Still struggling with 55 minutes from South Center into downtown and an hour and 20 all the way from Federal Way. It's just ugly out of the north end. We've got hour and a half drives from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, about 10 minutes slower than normal with hour drives just away from Linwood. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast, it is going to be hot today. It's just a one-day deal, but windy too. Wildfire danger is up there. Sunny and 86 for Seattle. Tomorrow will cool off to about 75 and down to 71 by Thursday. Right now, sunshine and 60 in the city.
Coming up, G and Ursula, they say we are living in two different realities in the U.S., and they'll get into why coming up on KIRO News Radio.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Then you gotta check out The Reset. Hey, it's G. Scott, and every week, me and my co-host and Seahawks great Brandon Meebane talk Seahawks. We break down the matchups, and we're joined by former Seahawks players.
From Lakewood to Lombardi, Seahawks champion, my main man, Jermaine Kearse.
What up, G? Watch The Reset live on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. To celebrate, Bathfitter's offering payments as low as $125 a month. Ursula Roytine here. I chose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit BathfitterNW.com to schedule a free consultation. This special offer won't last.
When the heat's an 11, cool AC would be heaven. Dayandnight.net. Get end-of-season savings of 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump while supplies last at Day and Night.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Save 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump, plus no payments or interest for a year OAC. Call for details.
Dayandnight.net.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you. Because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, everything you need and nothing you don't.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. Summer is the perfect time for a new roof. Take advantage of our easy financing, summer specials, and the best warranty in the business. Have a great summer. See you next hockey season. Trust Techline.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, North